All right, y'all. We're live. We're here. Let Godmama get her stream up and we'll take it from there. Ooh. Yeah, she's a court correspondent, which is fine. I really don't care. I don't care where I get it from. I'm just here to listen to the court. So where is Godmama? I don't know. Godmama. Come on in, baby. Let me get y'all a little intro, I guess. Come on. Hey y'all. Hey Will, how you doing? Y'all go hit the up light. Where's I'm not sure what Godmama's doing. Maybe she had to go do something real quick. Let me get y'all in with a little intro. Hey y'all.
Honeybee, you deserve all you desire. So fly away, black butterfly, to what you admire. Only you can hinder you from truly reaching triumph. I'm destined for greatness because I imagine that. My skin light, but baby, I am blacker than black. I got a mean code switch voice for work type black. I'm so black that my pale teacher called me a nigga in the middle of class. And I just sat back and laughed because that word don't make me boo. It makes you miserable. Don't gotta go to the circus to know it's clowns in there.
I'm not sure where Godmama's at, so I don't know if I need to go ahead and just share. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen because, like I said, I'm ready to get into it. I ain't got time for who got permission, who don't, bitch. I got permission today. Okay, she just talking right now.
Up
Hold on.
to it. There are women who have been in those situations and can just put them.
Okay, I'm gonna rewind
They
because I missed some court.
we're gonna come back at 1:30. They came back very close to it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Oh, I know what to do with that," because she was basically telling him there was nothing wrong with her. Um, she starts sprinting out the door, down the stairs, naked, because she was
Godmama, can we get an overlay for this? I don't want any of her. I don't want her visuals up here at all.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
nude, and he chased after her and tackled her to the floor. And
I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
okay, so he tackled her to the floor, and he started to bring her back upstairs after she was, excuse me, after she was stopped by reaching to the front door. She was almost out the door. She was about to go outside naked to avoid getting beaten by Mr. Bishop. And he took her back upstairs and he told us to go off with our business. And about 10 minutes later, he calls all the women back inside the bathroom or the room, his master bedroom, and he ordered Malia to kiss our feet and to tell us we're sorry, to tell us she's sorry.
Okay. And how long before you ultimately left the group was that incident?
That was about a month before that.
Okay. And in that month before, so after the incident you just described, but before you left, were there any other instances of Malia trying to leave?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any that stick out in your mind?
Yes, there was one time she was so upset because he was picking on her again,
Think you're back live,
talking
sis.
back to him. And this one particular time, I was the one filming this time, and she got
Maybe
really
not.
upset and started screaming to the top of her lungs when she went
Look
outside
at
because
you.
he had ordered her to go. He said, "Leave, then leave," and he pushed her to the ground. And then afterwards, she went outside, started screaming to the top of her lungs, smashed a mirror on the ground, and he ordered us to go get her. I know I was one of the people that went to go get her. However,
well, who smashed the mirror? Did Malia smash the mirror? Okay.
Malia smashed his favorite mirror on the ground. Yes.
And then you all went and retrieved her and brought her back to the house?
No, she decided to make her own way, leave that day because we were all ordered to go get her and beat her up.
Okay, and so what happened?
So we went to go get her. I tried to hug her and let her stay down, like don't go anywhere, please don't go. Then I got angry with the rest of the women and I started to call her names, and I started to tell her that you're not listening, and um, I started to tell her that she is basically regurgitating what Eligio Bishop would tell us all the time to say, and what he always says.
And when you said that you were ordered to go get her, who
Yes.
did the ordering?
Eligio Bishop, we did everything he said to do.
And were there ever in that time frame shortly before you left the group, were there any other times that you observed the defendant to order other people to use violence against somebody?
Yes. Another time that we were in the islands, traveling Puerto Rico, he initiated a fight.
Was that the last time that were you in Puerto Rico that last time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Make sure you say yes or no.
Yes,
please.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so you were traveling in Puerto Rico. I'm sorry for interrupting. What happened?
He had initiated a fight between Malia, Efru, and I. He told me to basically scare Malia into submitting to him. But he basically was gonna get Efru to beat up Malia.
And had he ever been violent with you personally?
No.
I want to take you to the night of March 24th, 2022. Do you remember that day?
March 24th.
What was happening on that day?
On that night, was having a party. We was having a party for, excuse me. We were having a party because a guest came over. Her name was Fauna. And around this time, Fauna was not a member of the cult, but she was just a friend of Eligio Bishop. And this night, I decided to, make friends with Fauna. Everybody else knew her. I didn't know her per se, and I wanted to basically, talk to her and just get to know her and just tell her about the knowledge that we talk about. And that's why I thought that Eligio Bishop would like, whenever someone comes in and they don't know what we're teaching, we would teach them that, So that's what I was doing with Fauna. And long story short, he basically gathered everyone in one room, and he basically told me that I was a leech.
Who is he?
Eligio Bishop.
Okay. Why was he upset?
Because I was giving a lot of attention to this Fauna woman.
Okay. So who all did he gather in a room?
Everyone that was up in the cult.
Okay. And what happened when he started that talk?
So basically, he tried to just initiate that to the people and try to show them that I was just this person that comes around and drain people's energy, when that wasn't the case at all. I was definitely just trying to be friends with a woman that came in because no one else was showing her that much attention. She was, but the girls was standoffish because
Which girls? I'm sorry.
the women that he calls his wives.
Okay, so other members of the group were
standoffish towards her, the women, of course, but
Okay.
she was the men were more friendly. So I just decided to become friends with her, or just get to know her and everything, and teach her what we was learning. He told me I was a leech, and basically got the whole cult to turn against me, basically saying that I was just someone who came in and does whatever she wants, or just talks to people and drains them of their energy. And then I was basically trying not to talk back to him, because whenever you talk back to him, he gets really upset and is prone for you to get hit or abused. So I tried not to talk back to him, but I was trying to let him know that I didn't agree with what he was saying. And I remember trying to stop myself from him saying something, but I made a face because I wear my heart on my sleeve. So he sees my face, and he basically initiates or tells Zoka, which is one of the women that he called and deems his wives, um, it would basically be okay to hit me at any time. He was basically saying, well, if Zoka hits you, then, basically he was saying something of those words.
Okay. And so, was everyone still in the room at this point?
Yes, everyone was there.
Okay. And so what happened next then at that point?
After that, after he basically told Zoka it'll be okay to hit me, I said something else as in like, I'm basically innocent of that. I don't know what he's talking about. And Zoka hits me on the back of my head, back of my neck. And I turned around and I told her like I didn't do anything. And she hits me again. Now at this point I get up because I'm hit, I'm struck. And the women got up when I got up. So I was basically being surrounded by the women.
So that would be Zoka and who else was there that you remember?
Zoka, Malia, Efaru, Aya, and Sheba.
And so they get up, and are you still standing at this point?
At this point I am, and then I got mushed back by Efaru. She pushes me back to the wall and tells me to get on my knees, so I got on my knees.
Okay. What happened after you got on your knees?
After I got on my knees, Sheba was talking whatever she was saying to me, and I smirked at her because I just thought me and her had a good relationship, so I knew that she was being fake and phony in that moment, just to appease to the king. So I smirked at her, and then Zoka smacked me really hard.
After Zoka smacked you really hard, what happened next?
After Zoka smacks me really hard, Malikia Bishop was basically saying that I deserved it.
When you say basically saying, do you remember like what was he saying that made you get that impression?
He said that they should have jumped me. He said that they should have jumped me from the moment I stepped through the door, and how I was gonna be a slave to the cult. And don't worry, everybody, she's gonna be kissing her feet tomorrow, and basically just down. He was just calling me names and all these other things.
After he said those things, what did you do next?
I sat there and took it. I had nothing else to say because they told me not to look at him. I tried to look at him and they told me not to look at him. So I looked down.
What made it end?
Excuse me?
What made it end?
He decided to just go off for his party. Bonna's still there, so everybody gets up and leave. And they told me to stay, sit there and stay. And I sat there and stayed, and I thought I contemplated on leaving that moment.
And so, as you're thinking about leaving, what was like the next thing you did?
I sat there, and Alethea Bishop came in, and he told me, "Are you okay?" He asked me if are you okay, and I said no. And he said, "Well, why don't you just go? Go pack up your things and just go, and make it nice and simple and clean. Basically, don't make anything dramatic." And at that moment, because I wanted to leave at that moment, I didn't want to get hit anymore. I said okay, and I told him I need my white bag and I gave him my pink bag. And he allowed his disciples, his male disciples, to fetch my things from the shed. I went upstairs and started to pack my clothes because I didn't know what else to do. I don't know where I'm going. I just thought wherever I would be going, I would just need clothes. My whole life was in that house. I didn't have anything to my name or anything but less $6. I was gonna make it happen and make it work to where I could just go. So there was two women in the room. Their names were Sheba and Zoka. They were in there while I was trying to pack up clothes. Sheba starts saying, well, you're gonna pack up all your things? You ain't ish. Excuse my language, I'm not gonna curse. But that's what she said. And I didn't know how to take it because yes, all the women wore my clothes. Every single one of them. So I didn't know what to do other than to just take something. So I just said, I'm not gonna take all of them, and I didn't say this to them, of course, I said it to myself, that I'm not gonna take all my clothes, and I just start packing.
And were you able to pack some of your things and prepare to leave?
Yes, but not without a fight. The women started to initiate a fight with me again. I was hit again by Zoka, and
And was that them acting on their own, or was that, do you know if the defendant had anything to do with that?
well, of course, they want to appease the king, so they're going to basically pick on me and make sure that they know that, oh, look at me, Babaji, I'm going to torment this woman for you just because she turned on you. And he always would tell the women, if someone turns on me, you turn on them.
And at some point, were you communicating with a friend of yours that was outside of the group at this point?
Yes, I was making my arrangements to leave with a woman named Kelly. I didn't know who else to call or anything, so I messaged her and she said I could stay at her art studio.
Okay. And between the two of y'all, how were you going to physically leave and get to the art studio? Like, what was the plan for that?
Well, I didn't want to, release the location of the cult because I still felt loyal to them. So I got an Uber to go to a CVS. It was only $4. I had $6. So I got the Uber to a nearby CVS. So she would then get an Uber to me from that CVS to wherever she was staying.
Okay. And did you order that Uber that night?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did the Uber show up that night?
Yes, he did.
And by the time he showed up, did you have your things mostly together where you were ready to leave?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so what happened at that point?
Well, before I left, the crew, everyone gathered around me, and I got on my knees to show respect to the king. And I told, he was telling me all these nasty things about how I'm lushed up, I ran through, I'm stupid for leaving, I should just stay. All these nasty, horrible names, callings, and just telling me how dumb I am for leaving. And I just told them I'm taking it all, like, okay, I get it, I don't want to stay here anymore. Then, after that, they went off with their business and everything of that nature. The women started to terrorize me some more by taking a charger out of my hands. After they took a charger out of my hands, I tried to go talk to Babaji about it because I thought he would give me back my charger at least, even though I was still being bullied by everyone. And I was sent back downstairs, trying to go back upstairs to Alihio Bishop by Malia. So I went back downstairs and my Uber was outside. So I went outside with no shoes on because I just thought that I just needed to quickly get out and I could put on my shoes in the car. When I got to the Uber and I opened the door and I was almost inside, I heard a call from the door. It was Zoka. Zoka said, God is calling, will you answer the call? At this point, because I wanted to show my respects before I left, I went back inside to say goodbye.
What were you thinking at that point?
I just wanted to leave on good terms. During the session of the name calling and the everything, he was telling me how much of a troll I'm going to be. He said, well, you're going to leave and talk bad about the crew and you're going to be a troll. And I didn't want these people to see me as a bad person. And I didn't want to talk bad about them at all. So I wanted to show that I can leave without being this troll that he said I was. So I wanted to leave on good terms.
And what did you tell the Uber driver?
I told him, please don't leave. I'll be right back. I will make this quick. Please do not leave.
And what happened next?
I went up the stairs to say goodbye to Lehio Bishop because before I was able to say goodbye in Leahio's house.
And when you got upstairs, where was the defendant?
He was at his master room bed door.
And did you go into that room?
No,
Okay, what happened?
he basically was saying, "Are you leaving now?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "I love you," and I said, "I love you too."
And and you were still out in the hallway at this point?
Yes.
And what happened next?
We hugged, and I was making my way back downstairs. He says, "Material," and he grabs my hand, and he takes me into the other room. And as he's taking me into the other room, I'm crying out, "No." I'm telling him, "No, I gotta go. My room is outside.
Okay. And what is he saying?
Just want to talk to you." Okay, he goes, and we go into the other room.
And what happened in the other room?
He basically was trying to convince me to sleep with him.
And how did you respond to that?
I said, "No." I said, "I don't want to." I kept rejecting him, actually. And he kept telling me, "Let me come inside you one more time." And I asked him, "Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to come inside me one more time?" Basically meaning to ejaculate inside of me. He said, "To give me a baby so I can come back."
And at that point, you both in the other room, is that right?
Yes.
And how was, were you all still hugging, or where were your bodies compared to one another?
He had my legs around him.
Okay. And did you ask him to leave?
What is that sound?
Did you try to leave at that point?
Yes. I wanted to go.
Were you able to leave?
No. No.
Girl.
I wasn't able to go. I felt like I couldn't. I felt powerless. And
Ooh, I wish I could see the jurors'
he kept
faces.
telling me that he wanted to just do it one more time, just one more time, one more time, one more time.
Why did you feel like you couldn't leave in that moment?
I felt like I couldn't leave in that moment because I felt restricted. He had his arms around me and my legs around him. And I felt like I couldn't resist it anymore after I kept telling him no. And so after I kept telling him no, and he says he wants to just do it one more time, I'm laid out on the floor. He lays me on the floor. And then after that, because I'm telling him no so many times, he said he puts his hands up. And he told me, "I'm not gonna rape you." And when he said that, I froze. He's never said that word with me before. He's never even told me he's never gonna rape me before. So when he had said that, I froze. I didn't know what to do. And at this time, he was already kissing me on my neck and already trying to get me aroused. So I said to myself in my head, if he saved one last time, and I didn't want to be raped. So I didn't even think about it like that. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do this one last time. Not to him. I said, it's myself, I'm gonna do it one last time. And he itched in and he said, okay. I said, okay. So I did. After he said, okay, and I said, all right, okay. He went ahead and proceeded to do.
You started having sex at that point? And,
Yes.
and what happened next?
My body started to shut down to him. I felt like my body started to reject him, like my vagina started to push him out. So after some thrust and after some time of him getting his pleasure, I pushed him off. And my body started to vibrate or shake vigorously, very much, a lot.
And
And after that,
Man, I wish we could see his
he
face.
said to me, oh, that's not fair. You get your nut and I don't get mine. So he took me shaking as an orgasm. And I couldn't tell him that it was, I couldn't tell him that it wasn't.
and
So after that, he proceeded to turn me around. After he thought I had an orgasm, he said he wanted to hit it from the back. So he starts to thrust from the back. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I'm crying to myself, but I don't want him to see me cry. So I just let him finish so I can go. I wanted to go. So after that, after he was done and he finished and he completed this mission with ejaculating inside of me, he started to proceed to get up to the door and to go. And I told him, I still want to leave. I don't feel welcomed here. I don't think anyone likes me. And he interrupts me and says, shut up. You're my bitch. You're my property. You're not going anywhere. You're not going nowhere. That's his exact words. So after, go ahead.
did he call you his property earlier in that encounter in the room?
He would say, I'm his, like, you know you're mine, during the time when he was trying to seduce me and arouse me. You would say, you know you're mine, you know you don't want to leave.
And did you want to have sex with Eligio Bishop that night?
No. I felt like I was convinced to have sex with him, and I was manipulated to have sex.
Did you feel like you were going to be able to leave that room without saying okay?
No. I don't even, after he closed the door, there was no going back unless you give him what he wants. And after you give him what he wants, maybe you'll get what you want, but no, he always gets what he wants.
And how many times do you think you told him no before you said okay? If you just had to,
So many times, I couldn't count how many, I couldn't keep it count, if that's what you.
Powerful, powerful
did you
testimony.
feel like if you were to call out for help in that house that evening, that someone would have come and assisted you?
Absolutely not, no, no.
How did you eventually until you leave?
After he was done and he told me I'm his puppy and his bitch, I'm not going anywhere. I was scared because of the sternness in his voice. So I had to plot in my mind to leave. So I told him I'm gonna have to take a shower. And he said okay, and he left the room, and I was able to pick out some clothing, go to the bathroom, but I contacted Kelly, one of my friends, and told her, because she was, at this point, I'm looking at my phone, and she was messaging me and calling me back to back, and I didn't get to see it. So I told her, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to speak out. And I went to the bathroom, and I told her to contact my mother, but don't tell my mother to call me. Don't call me, because I don't want any evidence of me trying to escape.
Why were you concerned about evidence of you trying to escape?
Because if they saw that, I don't know what would happen. I thought I was gonna get hit or scolded, shunned, or talk bad on something. I just didn't want them to find out I was trying to leave.
Okay, so you're communicating with Kelly that evening, is that right?
Yes.
And did you eventually formulate a plan or?
Yes. I
What
told
was
her.
that?
I told her I was gonna leave when everyone was asleep, and I told her I'm gonna try to wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the AM and leave that night. And I'm gonna set an alarm. I told myself I was gonna set an alarm. And yeah, that's what I remember.
Were you ultimately able to do that?
Set an alarm.
Leave that next morning?
I was able to get up and go leave the next rising because I set up for 3 to 4 AM, but I overslept, and it was 9 AM at this time, and everyone was sleeping. And I basically the night before I made it seem like I was okay with everything, and smiling people's faces, but I was definitely packing one bag, at least one bag, not two, but one, just to leave. And I grabbed that big suitcase and I tiptoed down the stairs. But before I did that, I went around and looked if everyone was asleep. Only one person was up, and it was Zoka. She was in the shower. So I took around the house to see if everyone was asleep, and they were. And I went down the stairs with my big suitcase, and I went outside, and I rushed to the Uber, and I told the Uber priorly to please be quick.
And were you able to leave in the Uber?
Yes, I was able to leave in the Uber.
Where did you go?
The Uber took me to he was really kind. He took me to a Waffle House, about 20 minutes away. And after I ate, because I was very hungry, I didn't eat that night at all. I went to the studio where Kelly was.
Did you immediately report anything being assaulted or false imprisonment or anything like that to the authorities?
No, I did not.
Why not?
And we was always told by a legal bishop that the government was the devil, and the police was not going to help us in any way, and we never really thought to go to the government for anything. And I thought that this was hell, so I didn't really trust many people.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Chef Mr. Booker.
I
You have,
do.
okay. All right, thank you. Go ahead then.
I'm showing you several documents there, marked State's Exhibit 1, and the page numbers. Do you recognize what those are?
Yes, these are the messages I sent to Kelly the night that I escaped.
And so do those span from the evening of March 24th into the next day?
Yes, I see it. Mhm. Excuse me? Yes,
Are they a fair and accurate copy of the messages that you shared?
yes.
Your Honor, at this time I tender State's Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
Judge, the only objection I would make is.
Use your mic,
I'm
please.
sorry. The only objection I would make is, I'm assuming the state would call Kelly for purposes of her portion of the, text messages, that Kelly's aspect of it would be hearsay.
Mr. Coveney, response?
I'm not sure that's correct, but Kelly is our next witness, so to the extent that the court wants me to wait to publish until after Ms. Johnson testifies, suppose that's fine.
If Kelly is the next witness, I have no.
Janae is on the stand right now giving her testimony.
Who is?
Janae, right? That's who's on the stand giving her testimony, right? That's what we're
Oh,
listening.
yes, yeah. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat. Yeah, it's Janae, y'all. Hey, y'all.
Bowl, she sounds like she is.
Needs to get closer to see, a couple at a time, or you can.
Come on, we can see the screen now.
Lean forward, whatever you need to. I just want to make sure they can see it. Especially the juror with the eye issue.
Oh my God.
Sorry?
Are the televisions in the
Yeah,
jury
they're not.
room?
We should be able to see the evidence.
There are messages
Hello?
obviously on the left side and the right side. Are yours the ones on the left? Are those the ones you're sending?
Yes.
Any other courtroom will show like the exhibits without showing the other parties. Like, why are we not able to see the messages?
And what caused you to reach out to Kelly?
I was hit and abused, and I wanted to leave.
Shoot, I'm sorry, that was a very broad question. Why did you choose Kelly as the person that you reached out to?
I didn't think to call my immediate family. There was a law against that in carbonation, so I felt a loyalty to that for some reason, or I just didn't know who else to contact. She was the first thing I seen.
And you,
I don't know what just happened.
yeah, that's not.
Hold on.
Now I'm getting irritated because we should be able to see the evidence now. Come on now. I understand not seeing her, but we should be able to see the evidence.
What is carbonation?
Carbonation is the group and the cult that I was involved in with Aaliyah Bishop and the others.
Janae, if you look at the TV screen, is this, what are you and Kelly discussing at this point in the conversation?
It should be on the screen in front of you as well.
Yes.
Janae, turn around. Huh? There's a screen in front of you. That might be easier for you to see. That's fine.
We're discussing, the Uber ride, to, the spot that I told you about.
And at this point in the conversation, you say twice, "I'm sorry." What's happening on your end at this point?
At this point,
Judge,
Am I-
you could just reflect as to which page.
All right, hold on.
I'm sorry. They could just, so for record purposes, just say which page of exhibit 1, I believe the exhibit has a total of 7 pages,
It has 13.
13 pages.
What page are you on right now?
6, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, you, when you're changing pages, just let them know which one you're going to.
And Janae, what is, do you remember what was happening?
Yes, here, when I said, okay, I'll be there in 2 minutes because my ride just got here, that's when my Uber pulled up. And when the next line, when I said I'm sorry to her, that's after I was assaulted.
You missed, that Uber left at some point during that, right?
Yes,
Switch to page 7.
So is she just reading all these texts? What, or are you asking her questions about them?
No, there's only a few that I actually have questions about. I think I'm just entering them into evidence and was
Okay.
playing through them
Just
in case
displaying
the
them,
jury
okay.
wanted to read
All
them, unless the court wants me to read them out loud. But
This is fine, I just wasn't sure what we were doing.
yes, Your Honor. We're on page 8. Janae, at the bottom of that, when you say you may have to go soon, what's going on at that point?
well, there's always activity going on in the code in the tribe, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't looked at as a tool on my phone to where it looked like I'm trying to escape or plan something. So I have to tell her, I have to go soon, so don't text me back, basically. I'm gonna delete all the messages.
And on page 9, your third message from the top there is you mentioned something about a shower. What's going on at that point?
I'm texting her in the shower.
Why are you texting her in the shower?
Sometimes people just walk in the bathroom because we don't lock doors. So I just wanted to make sure I had that privacy inside the shower. I'm hiding it.
And what's going on with Cash App? And this is on page 10.
She cash apped me $11 to get another Uber.
Okay. And was that still that same evening, or when did that happen?
It happened while I was in the shower.
Just wow. Wow. The only safe place is the shower to send a text message. Ooh.
And so here we're on page 12, the last message at the bottom. What is different about that message?
I overslept and I woke up at 9:41 a.m. and I was telling Kelly that I need to wake up in time. So I'm gonna have to try to go.
Okay, but is that sort of the cutoff between the night before and the next morning?
Yes.
After you left the group, a couple of days after you left the group, did you become confused by messages you received?
What do you mean?
Did you get messages from folks online that made you confused?
Yeah, I was, so basically I went on YouTube and saw certain things that people were saying that I may have not left because about a week and a half, I would say about a week later, people were still talking about how I may have been still at the tribe because of some stuff. So I texted my friend and she let me know that there was porn placed online.
Okay. And did you figure out where that was?
Yes, it was on Twitter.
And were you familiar with the account that posted it?
Yes, it was a Legion Vicious account.
And did you consent to those videos being posted on Twitter?
No,
Did you know those videos existed?
yes,
And did you consent to there being the filming of them originally?
originally, yes.
And how did it make you feel to know that those videos were out there?
Humiliated.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Um,
You know, but have you seen what he's showing him now?
I'm assuming that's already.
No. Can we approach real fast?
Yeah.
All right. So the getting
I didn't know I was to the car.
Call the police.
as she said, and so we'll see how that plays out.
No, he controlled everything.
They're back. I'm gonna get to y'all in a second, but they just came back. So just stay there.
At
Don't
some
click
point
off.
What did you do in response to learning that those videos had been shared?
I cried, and my friend had told me that he can get in trouble for those. So I went ahead and pressed charges.
Okay. And how did you go about trying to press charges for those videos? Like, did you call the police? Did you, like, what did you, okay.
I called the police, and then I had to go to the station to file a report.
And when you met with the police officer to file the report, I guess, what did you report had happened?
I reported that my boyfriend, because that's what I called him at the time, I didn't know what else to how I was to describe what we were to outsiders or whatever. I said my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, was revenge porn on me.
And at some point, did you participate in an interview online?
Yes,
And who was that interview with?
it was with Chantel Coleman. Her name was the T.
And what is the T, for those of us that aren't familiar with that?
She documents the whole, basically bringing awareness to it.
What's her name?
Chantel Coleman. The T basically is on YouTube is the T,
The T, as in the letter T?
as in TEA.
Okay.
And about how long after you left the group was your interview with the T?
I would say a week and some days, possibly, because I went to a spa after this art studio. I went to a spa, 24-hour spa.
Was it before or after you filed the report about the revenge porn with the police?
It was after.
Okay. And when you were talking to the T, how long did that interview last?
6 hours.
And was it just you and the T, or were there other people involved in the discussion?
There was other people involved in the discussion.
And did that, okay. At some point during the course of the interview, did you provide a description of your last night with the group?
I did.
How did you describe what happened in that interview?
I called it, whatever he did to me, I called it making love.
And why did you use that word or those words to describe what had happened?
In the cult, there's a lingo that we go by, and he switches words around. Like going to the bathroom, we would say going to empty my cup or going to pot. So I remember one day, and this was actually caught on film, after I referred to intercourse as the F word, he instructed us to call intercourse making love from that point on. And after that, that's all I did.
And do you feel like the way that you described what happened to you to the T accurately reflected what happened that night?
No.
Why not?
I felt like I was still under the influence of the Lehi bishop in the tribe. I felt like I had some kind of subconscious loyalty to them, and I felt like I wasn't describing it to its fullest capacity.
Did you feel like you were still trying to process what had happened yourself?
Yes, I didn't know what to do. I was really confused around that time. I was very confused about where I was gonna go, what happened to me, why it happened, why it was happening to me. Where am I? Am I in hell? I'm in heaven. Where am I? Who am I? Without the tribe, I didn't know where I was. Without the tribe, I didn't know where I would be. So I didn't know what to do but to just speak the truth like everyone else did.
During your time in the group or in the tribe, did you participate in videos or social media postings or lives on several occasions?
Yes, I did.
Almost done, I promise. And during the course of some of those videos, did you say, I guess, feel and say things that were very positive about the defendant in this case?
I don't remember.
Would you say that there were things about the tribe and the group that were good sometimes?
Yes. There was a lot of bad.
If I can have just a second.
Where is your family? Your physical family, parents, siblings that you have?
I had family everywhere. I have family in Georgia, yes, and my mother was in Jamaica.
I just have one more question.
Sure.
Janae, do you see the person who did this to you in court today?
Yes.
If you would please identify him by pointing an article of clothing.
Instead of pointing, can you just describe what the individual is wearing?
He's wearing a blue party jacket.
That's the record reflect. The witness has identified the defendant.
Any objection, Mr. Booker?
No objection.
All right, the record will so reflect.
That's all the questions I have for the witness at this time.
All right, before we do cross, anybody need a break? Yes, okay. All right, 10 minutes, and I promise it'll only be 10 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward real quick because we are behind, guys. Give me one
That
second to find
was,
it.
oh, I'm curious to see how Mr. Booker crosses with Janae. Here we
Aren't we all?
go.
Less. Like if she
Okay.
So, whew,
Give me one
shout out
second.
to all of you here.
Oh, okay, I said yes, dude. Like, I mean,
Shout out to
These
them.
other folks. Okay.
All right.
say
Quick,
that just the same.
We're coming
Ready?
back.
Go
There we
ahead,
go.
Mr. Hooker.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Ms. Newell. My name is Robert Book. I represent Mr. Bishop. I just have a few questions for you, okay? Okay. You are still on the oath from earlier, right? Okay.
All right, hold on. Make sure you answer yes or no instead of.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So
Let's go.
As of today, I think you indicated you're 29 years old.
Yes,
Okay. And you have a 7-month-old child.
yes,
Okay. Boy or girl?
girl.
Girl. Okay. Well, congratulations. Girls are pretty awesome there. Who's the father of that 7-month-old child?
Courtney P. Townsend.
Is that the same Courtney Pete Townsend that you mentioned a few times named Solar?
Yes,
Okay. The person that was in the group?
yes,
Okay. And so you said the baby is 7 months old?
yes.
Okay.
Tomorrow she'll be 8 months.
She'll be 8 months old? Okay. So it's fair to say, just based on science, that baby was probably conceived about 17 months ago, right? 9 months to carry a child and 8-month-old?
Yeah,
9 plus 8?
sure.
Lawyers can do some math. So about 17 months ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And the date that is at issue in this case is what date?
Excuse me?
What's the date of issue in this case that we've been talking about?
Date of issue?
That's March of 2022, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know how many months ago that was?
How many months ago? March of 2022 was?
Yes, ma'am.
You asking me a math question?
Can we,
I'll move on.
can we assume that it's
A math question.
It's 23 months, ma'am.
Okay.
He being petty.
You're a better mathematician.
Relevance.
All
Right?
right. Now, in the scenario here, how, at the time when you first came across Mr. Bishop and these other folks online, how old were you at that time? I think you said you were 23 years old?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, and did you grow up here in Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah.
Majority, yes.
Oh, were you born here in Atlanta?
No,
Where were you born at?
New York.
In New York. How long had you lived here in Atlanta?
I was here since I was like 13 years old.
13?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go to high school here in Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay, where'd you go to high school at?
Well, I went to high school in Conyers, Georgia.
In Conyers?
Yes.
Okay. Rockdale County?
Yeah, not Rockdale, I went to Salem High School.
Salem High School. Did you graduate?
Yes.
Okay. What was your GPA?
Objection, relevance.
What's the relevance?
Well,
Thank
she talked about she used the word brainwashed. So obviously her intelligence and whether or not she graduated high school, those things, I think I'm able to answer this question, Judge.
I'll allow it. All right, I'll allow it.
Thank you, Judge. Did you graduate high school?
you.
Yes.
Okay. What was your GPA in high school?
I do not recall.
You don't recall. So you don't know is it fair to say it was a 3.8?
I don't remember.
Don't remember.
No.
So it could be a 3.9.
I could be, I don't remember.
You don't remember your GPA in high school. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I have to allow you to answer. And so I will try I'm going to pause after you answer so the court order doesn't kill me. So it could be a 3.8 or 3.9 GPA.
She said she doesn't remember.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to remember my GPA.
Okay. Were you 18 when you graduated?
Yes.
Okay. So were you taking regular classes?
Yes.
Did you take algebra?
Yes.
Calculus?
No.
Did you take any AP or honor classes?
In middle school, but not in high school.
Okay. So in middle school, you took AP or honor classes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you graduated on time. Did you do any college after that?
Yes.
Okay. Where'd you go to college at?
I went to Valdosta State University, and also I went to Georgia Career Institute.
Okay. And Valdosta State, do you remember what GPA was there?
2.9 actually flunked,
Okay. 2.9 is a flunking GPA.
I guess.
Okay. All right. And you said, what was the other school you went to?
I went to Georgia Career Institute,
Okay. And what did you study there?
aesthetics.
Aesthetics?
Yes, skincare.
All right. And when did you go there?
When?
Mm-hmm.
2016 or 2015.
Okay. And do you remember your GPA there?
Excuse me?
Do you remember your GPA at that school?
No.
Did you complete that school?
Yes.
Did you get a degree from there?
I got a license in
A license?
aesthetics.
Okay. Did you ever practice in that field?
Do I have a practice in that field?
Did you ever practice in that field? Did you ever have a job in that field?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And at Valdosta State, did you get an associate's degree from there?
No.
Okay. Different.
My financial aid was dropped because I wasn't able to obtain a good GPA there or good grades.
Okay. All right. So at the time you met Mr. Bishop in this group, you were 23 years old, and when you ultimately left, you were 26 maybe. You were around for about 3 years. That sound right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I think you indicated to Mr. Coveney on direct examination that you were on a spiritual journey, right?
Yes.
Okay. And were your mom and dad here in the Atlanta area?
My dad, I don't know where he be, I don't know where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was in Atlanta and then she moved to Jamaica.
Okay. So mom moved to Jamaica.
Yes.
And was that the entire time that you were around the group with Mr. Bishop? Was she gone in Jamaica the entire time?
And then she went to North Carolina.
Okay. Is that where she moved to live?
Yes.
Okay. So was that sometime around 2022?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you're online. This is around 2020. You're staying at home by yourself at that time?
Online 2020. I was with my grandmother.
Grandmother. Where does grandmother live at?
Lithonia, Georgia.
Okay. All right. And in 2022, was grandmother still living in Lithonia?
Yes.
Okay. So for 2020, 2021, and 2022, you had your grandmother here in Metro Atlanta, right?
No. I moved around a lot after I left the cold. So I wouldn't say I was staying with my grandmother.
That's not what I asked, ma'am.
What was the question?
I just asked, was your grandmother here in Metro Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay.
Where was your dad?
I don't know now.
How long has he been?
Moving around, basically like since I was 14, I haven't really
Okay.
known who he is.
Okay. So you knew where your grandmother lived.
Yes.
Okay. And you knew her phone number.
Yes.
Okay. And your mom, you knew she was in Jamaica. So it's kind of difficult to reach, but you knew her phone number also, right?
Yes.
Thank
Do
you,
have
His
any aunts or
Lordship.
uncles here in the Metro Atlanta area?
No.
Any cousins? Any other blood family in Metro Atlanta?
Yes.
Who else?
I have family in Lithonia, my stepmother and my half siblings.
So stepmom and some half siblings.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So 2020, you go and you join, I think, according to your testimony, for the first time, the group, right?
Yes.
Okay. And based on your testimony, you're there for about 3 to 5 months, is what you testified to. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so at some point, you're voted out, right?
Yes, that took place in California after we were deported out of Hawaii.
Okay. But what I'm asking you about is being voted out. You were voted out, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you testified that you made arrangements to leave, go home to Atlanta, and you did for 10 to 11 months, right?
Yes.
But you continued to communicate with Solar, right?
On and off, and yes, he would communicate with me by
Okay.
phone there, yes.
And this was the guy that you wanted to have a relationship with, right?
Yes.
That you ultimately have a child with.
Yes.
Okay. And so Solar invited you to come back.
Yes, he always would say come back home. Yes.
Okay.
And actually, Eligio Bishop is the one who invited me back as well.
Okay, yeah, you said that earlier.
Yeah.
So they both invited you back, and so you got a flight to Puerto Rico for the second time, right?
Yes, Eligio Bishop brought me back, yes.
Okay. And so at that point, you stayed for 1 month.
Yes.
Okay. And you testified earlier that you witnessed some acts of violence while you were there, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you left again.
Yes.
Okay. And so during the time that you left for the second time, after this first month, where'd you go then?
After I left Puerto Rico, I went to Florida for a day, and then I went to Dallas, Texas.
Okay, you went to Florida for 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, who do you know in Florida?
No one. I was just, I guess it was just a connected flight out there. I don't know. I was able to just fly out there.
Okay. And then you went to Dallas, Texas, right?
After that, yes.
Who lives in Dallas, Texas?
Well, it was a supporter of mine who watched me for years.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, no one would take me in.
Okay. So the person in Dallas, Texas was a supporter of yours?
Yes.
Is that supporting like your online presence?
Yes.
Okay. A financial supporter?
No, she isn't financially supporting me, but she just reached out to my mother and was like, I'll take her in.
She reached out to your mother?
Yes.
Okay. What was her name?
Ava.
Okay. Is it Ava Wilson?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't really recall her last name.
Okay. And she told your mother that she would take you in?
Yes.
Okay. And you went to go stay with her for a while, right?
Yes.
And you also messaged with her as well, right?
And I also what?
Messaged with her on your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And when you messaged with her on your phone, this was after you left Puerto Rico, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you stayed with her again at a later time as well, right?
What was the question?
You stayed with her again at a later time as well, right?
What do you mean by that?
After 2022. In 2022, did you stay with her?
No, the only time I stayed with her is that time when I went to Dallas, Texas.
Okay. You never lived at her house at any other time?
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't lived in her house at any other time.
Okay.
Other than that one time she invited
And
me.
what year was that?
I believe it was 2022, 2021, 2022, around those times.
Which time did you go to Dallas, Texas?
I don't recall, honestly. 2000, and the last time I left. So I mean, the second time I left, I went to Dallas, Texas.
So 2021.
Yes.
Okay. So your testimony here today is
Yes.
that you haven't been around Eva Wilson since 2021.
Yes.
Okay. So in 2022, you never stayed at her house.
No, I don't recall. I only stayed at her house that time I went to Dallas, Texas.
Okay. And you never messaged her about anything happening to you in 2022 either, right?
No.
Okay. And you never communicated with her and your mom simultaneously in 2022 about anything happening to you either, right?
I don't recall any of that happening.
Okay. So that wouldn't exist in your phone.
I don't believe so.
Okay. All right. And just addressing your phone real quick, the messages that you were shown, those messages were actually from your phone, right?
That was from Kelly's phone.
Okay. Those are not messages. So did you allow police to look through your phone?
No.
Okay. You never shared your phone messages or anything like that with the police?
Well, I did send them, show them, the videos of the porn, but then I don't think I shared anything else.
Okay. All right. So the state has behind you a big board with people's names, different names on it. And your name is Natiri. And it has you listed as was a former member. Based on your testimony earlier, though, that name was not given to you by Mr. Bishop or anyone in the group. That name you gave yourself before you ever met those people. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. That was a name that you gave yourself when you were younger, or when did you give yourself that name?
I gave myself that name when I was following the carbonation crew and everybody was renaming themselves.
Mhm.
And I said to myself, well, I just got out of a relationship. I'm going to rebrand myself as Nateri and really take the knowledge seriously.
Okay, so 2020, 2019, you're following the group, you rename yourself as Nateri, and you go and you join the group, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so when you get there, I think from what you testified to earlier that you were witnessing what you believe to be a lot of violence, right? People getting beat up and punched, right?
Not when I initially went there, no.
Okay, so you went there in 2020, right? You agree with me about that?
Yes.
2022 it ended, right?
2022, yes.
March 24th, 2022.
Yes.
You left that day, right? March 25th, the next day?
I left yes, March 25th.
Okay, and then go back again, right?
No.
Okay, so it's fair to say roughly 2 years thereabout, you were around these folks, right?
Okay, yes.
You witnessed a lot of acts of violence based on your testimony,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
There were people getting beat with belts 50 to 100 times based on your testimony, right?
Yes.
Okay, there were people getting slapped in the face based on your testimony, right?
Yes.
Women running out the door naked, right?
When she get to the door because he tackled her.
Getting tackled to the door, even worse than
Yeah.
getting tackled at the door naked.
Yeah.
Okay, all types of violence, right?
Yes.
And each time you went back to the household, right?
I went back to the club, yes.
You went back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
and you stayed there.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you testified earlier that women couldn't talk to you and that people slept separately or together, and that Mr. Bishop had a set of women that were with him. So where did all that stuff happen at? Was that in Puerto Rico? Was that in Atlanta? Where did that happen at?
I stated earlier that the women wasn't allowed to talk to the men, not to talk to me. I think I said they're not allowed to talk to me.
So the women were able to talk to you?
Yes, that's actually how the third time actually I got there as well, because he sent one of the women to talk to me.
Okay, who was that he sent to talk to you?
Efru, which was Kayla Butler.
Kayla Barker came to talk to you?
She messaged me on Instagram and we FaceTimed.
Okay.
Yeah, she said she wanted me back at the tribe. She misses me and she wanted me there. And I said I will come and visit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened.
And she told you that he told her to call you?
She actually told me that she did it herself. However, Kendra Carter had said to one time that if he wants women, he's going to send women to catch them, especially after who was Caleb Butler. So I feel like I was preyed upon.
So even though she told you that she decided to do it herself, it's your
Preyed upon.
So even though she told you that she decided to do it herself, it's your belief that he instructed her to do it.
Yes.
But you don't have any evidence other than your belief that he instructed her to do it.
No.
Okay. All right. So you indicated that there were lots of rules, and the rules were no one could say no, right?
Right.
And so the outside world was considered Babylon,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But even though you're a person who went to college, you had gone to college at that time, right?
Yes.
You had gotten a good enough college entry exam, ACT, SAT, or whatever, to get in college that you believed the outside world was, quote, Babylon.
Yeah.
Okay. That you were told that the defendant was the Christ,
Yes.
right? And you believe that.
Yes.
Okay. Even though you're a person who went to college and had an education.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you indicated that it was dissuaded to have communication with family, friends, and other people outside the group, right?
Repeat that question.
It was discouraged that
Yes.
you should have communication with family, friends, and others outside the group.
Yes.
Okay. So during that time frame, you didn't talk to your mother, right?
I would break the rule. I would try to at least get contact with my mom sometimes, but not all the time. Not
Okay.
normally how
So-
much I would.
So your phone would reflect communication with your mother, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that meant that you were communicating with family and people outside the group, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the person who was your supporter, Miss Wilson, you were communicating with her, right?
No.
Well, she invited you. You said she was your biggest supporter.
That's what she said.
Oh, she told you she was your biggest supporter.
Yes.
Okay. Well, how did you even know her?
Actually, I did some readings for her, and I remember, because I do readings, and she got some readings with me, and I will continue to do readings with her. And
What's a reading?
A reading, a tarot reading, is basically.
Don't know what that is. What is that?
A psychic reading.
Okay, so you do psychic readings.
Yes.
Okay, so how would a lady in Dallas, Texas know that a young lady in Georgia or Puerto Rico or wherever you may have been was doing psychic readings?
Online. I basically put my life online so everyone could see what I was doing.
Okay, so
and
you
follow the journey.
I'm talking over you. I'm trying not to. So you posted online that you were doing psychic readings on YouTube?
No, on Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, and this was during the time that you were in Puerto Rico or around the group, right?
Before that time as well.
Okay, but this was during the time that you were in Puerto Rico and around the group as well, right?
Well, when I was in the group, I stopped doing readings and doing those things online.
But so for that 2 years that you were in the group, you didn't do readings online?
I did them donation based, but hardly.
Donation based, what that mean? That they paid you, you did it?
Because, well, I used to get paid for them. It was my business. I was an entrepreneur. However, when you're in the group, you don't do anything for money.
Okay.
That was the rule of carbonation. You don't do anything for money. So if people wanted to send donations, cool, but we did it for free. And if you wanted to send a donation, that's up to you.
Okay. So you stayed posted online and people would donate and they would donate to the group?
Basically, because I would have to send that to the group.
Okay. All right. So you would be an intermediary for the group. You would get money and it would go to the group, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you did tarot cards or whatever you just said for her during that time frame in 2020, 2021, right?
No, I did it before as well.
Okay.
So this was a supporter that had known me, before I got into carbonation from other things.
Well, you just said she knew you from tarot cards.
Yes, from other than the carbonation. I'm assuming that you thought that she only knew me while I was in carbonation, but she knew me before then.
How did she know you before that?
Because I was online.
Doing tarot cards?
Yes.
Okay. This was when you were in college?
No.
It was after you were in college?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, jumping forward, just a couple things. I want to get to the 24th. The statement you made earlier about Malia, you said that she was screaming and she was hurt and other things. She would obviously testify to the same thing, right?
Excuse me?
She would obviously testify that those things happened to her, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. And there were other people that witnessed that as well, correct?
Yes.
And they would give similar statements.
Yes.
That would support what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, so looking at the board there, which of those people were present when that happened, outside of yourself?
I would say, I'm not sure if they heard that what was going on, but I would say Sheba and True could have been there as well, but this happened late at night when everybody was asleep, so I'm not sure if they were awake when it happened.
Okay, where did this happen at?
This happened in Puerto Rico, in the location in Puerto Rico.
What are you describing again?
The time when she was screaming from the top of her lungs.
Okay.
And he was beating her.
In the room with the door closed?
Yeah, when upstairs.
Okay.
We were all downstairs in our tents.
Okay.
And this is the time that I tell you I heard that happen.
Okay, you heard it happen.
Yeah.
You didn't actually witness anything though?
No.
Okay, you didn't see anybody hurt?
No.
Okay. All right. Now, you also mentioned that there was a lady that was beat with a belt.
Yes.
Who was that?
Malia.
Malia. Did you actually witness that?
Yes.
Okay, and where did that happen at?
That happened in the master bedroom.
In what city?
In Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, and she would obviously be willing and able to testify that those things happened to her, right?
Yes.
Okay, who else was present for that?
Sheba, Aya, Zoka, but she's not there.
Sheba, Aya, and Zoka, but she's not. Zoka's not on the list.
Yeah, she's not.
Okay. Do you know Zoka's real name?
Jayon Marie.
Jayon Marie.
Yes.
Okay. But she would have been present as well.
Yes.
Okay.
She was actually hit with a belt too.
While this also was going on.
Yeah.
Same thing. Okay. All right. So, you indicated that your sexual relationship began with Mr. Bishop. You were not actually interested in him, correct?
Yes.
Yes, you were, or no, you were not?
I was not interested in him.
Okay. You were interested in Solar,
Yes.
right? And so, but you went and hugged him goodnight the first time.
Yes.
And he told you, maybe you can have sex with me at some point, something along those lines, right?
That didn't happen that night. Like I said prior, that happened sometime before when he told me you're ready to have sex with me soon.
Mm-hmm.
That happened before that night, days before that night.
Before you hugged him the first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, I hugged him, and that's when he said, "You're about me ready to have sex with me." And then the next night, I hugged him good night. So this is 2 hugs. I hugged him good night, and that's when he kept me in his room.
Okay. So the first time you hugged him, he said, "Hey, you hugged me. I think you're ready to have sex with me."
Basically, yes.
Okay. And then the next night, you go and do the exact same thing again.
The exact same thing though. It wasn't at night. The first time I hugged him, it was at midday.
Okay.
The second time I just hugged him to say good night.
Okay. So the first time during the midday, according to your testimony, he's aroused by you and he says, "Well, we should have sex." This is in the middle of the day, right?
Yes.
But the next time you go to hug him again, this time at night.
Yes.
And in his room.
Yes.
And you go to tell him good night.
Yes.
Okay. And at this point, that's when the first time you guys had sex, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And where was that at?
That was in Atlanta, Georgia.
In Atlanta. What year was that?
That was around COVID time, so I believe around 2020.
2020.
Yes.
Okay. So when you first went to meet with the group, you met them in Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay. And then after going from Atlanta, that's when you went to Puerto Rico?
After some time I left and then I got to, yes, it was in Puerto Rico the second time. Yes.
All right. Okay. So you indicated that to the state that you originally didn't want a sexual relationship with him, but you ultimately did have a sexual relationship with him, right?
Yes.
Okay. To the point where you tattooed your name on his name on your body, right?
He said it was for the mission.
Putting your name on his name on your bottom was for the mission.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you also created some sexual videos, right?
Yes.
Several of them.
Yes.
Okay. And according to your original testimony, early on the Stage Direct, you said that there was an agreement to do whatever he wanted on those videos. Do you disagree that you said that?
Say that again.
That you originally told the state that there was an agreement to do whatever he wanted on those videos. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And that you consented to the videos being posted at that time.
Yes.
And that was in 2020 or 2021?
That was in 2000, going into next year, 2022.
Early 2022?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I told him prior, because he's never put in any, like, that I wasn't uncomfortable with that. So
Okay.
he, he hasn't placed it up, but the more he was able to manipulate me and control me, that's when he saw that I was able to be more submissive to him. So he started to post it up, and because he saw I was okay with it, saying okay, because it was for the bigger purpose, was for sexual education.
Okay. So you testified earlier, you consented to it and you said you were okay with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same videos that are there that have been entered in evidence in State's Exhibit 2. Is that correct?
Here's the thing, I would say I was okay with it, but deep inside, I never really wanted to do it.
Okay, did you ever tell him not to do it? Let me ask you a better question.
Yes.
Do you disagree that you've already testified that you agree for him to post videos?
No, I don't disagree.
Okay, do you disagree that you indicated you consented, was your exact words, you consented to them being posted?
Yes.
Do you disagree that the videos that we're talking about right now are the exact same videos that the state has in counts 3, 4, and 5 that are in State's Exhibit 2?
Yes, those are.
Same ones? That's a yes or no question?
Yes.
Okay. Now.
Wait, hold on. You were cutting her off a little bit. You have a right
She's
to.
fine answer.
You have a right to explain your answer. I just want to make sure you understand that. So go ahead.
Thank you. I was going to say that there was some that I wasn't really familiar with when I saw when I saw them the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them I definitely recognized that he posted on Twitter before it was taken down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was going to say.
Okay. All right, thank you. Now, were there videos and content recorded for the purpose of entertainment by the group?
By the group?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would say that it would be spiritual improv, but it wasn't spiritual improv. It was our whole life that he was displaying online and torturing us.
Okay. So your whole life was essentially being recorded, right?
Yes.
Everything that was being done.
Whenever he wanted to record, he would press record and he would record us all, go live and torture us.
Okay. And this was it ever done for content purposes, for, I guess, essentially for the wow factor?
For him, of course, yes. For us, it was just living our lives.
Okay. And
how was his playthings?
How many people outside of you were in the house there?
Around that time, I would say well over probably 15 people.
15 people. Okay. And all 15 people were characters within the live video shoots, right?
We weren't characters. We were ourselves.
Okay. And then you were yourselves, 15 other people outside of Mr. Bishop, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you guys had an online presence, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, was there a video that was recorded where people were smacked or hit during that time frame that you guys indicated online was for purposes of wow factor?
No, it was never for wow factor. He tortured us and manipulated us and humiliated us.
Okay, so
it was never acting.
It was never stated on the video that this was for purposes of wow factor.
It doesn't matter if it was stated on a video for wow factor. It was never for wow factor. He got pleasure from torturing us.
So my question goes back to, was it ever stated on video that it was wow factor?
Not from me.
Not from you.
Yes.
So if there's a video that exists where people on there are saying that, then you would say you wouldn't be on that video, and if you were, it wouldn't be true.
I would say that the police would come in and they
Ma'am,
would
that's not the
access.
court. I would ask the court to strike that answer.
I'm explaining my answer.
Hold on. You have to answer the question first.
Okay.
Then you have a right to explain your answer. So repeat the question, please.
Okay.
My question was there a video that existed that people were on there that the discussion was that this was for a wow factor, and if you were on there, are you saying that that's not accurate, what you were saying?
Yes. I'm saying if there's a video out there and if I was on there and he was saying to the police or any other person that it was just for content and for a movie or theaters or for Netflix, and I was in an agreement, it wasn't that.
Okay. All right. How long do you think over that 2-year time frame did you spend with the group? Out of 24, 26 months? 20 months, more or less?
So.
Okay. All right. Now, jumping back to Miss Eva Wilson, at any time when you went to Dallas, Texas, how long do you think you stayed there with her?
I do not recall the number of time.
Give me an estimate.
Estimate maybe 2 months.
2 months?
Maybe.
Okay. And when you were there in Dallas, Texas, did you go anywhere with her? Did you have a job or anything like that?
I had a job, yes.
Okay. What were you doing?
I was waitressing at a Jamaican restaurant.
Okay. Why did you ultimately leave her house?
We had a falling out, I believe, and she wanted to have her room back. So I decided to leave her house.
Okay. All right. After March 24th, 2022, did you communicate with her again?
I probably had a few conversations or text messages, but I don't recall them, honestly. I kind of don't, I'm not associated with her anymore.
Okay. Was there a disagreement between you and her?
There was, but we left on good terms because we was able to forgive one another. But I just decided I didn't want to, associate with her moving forward.
Okay. All right. So let's look at the 24th of March. So based on your testimony earlier, on the 24th of March, there's a party. I guess it's the night of the 23rd going into the 24th?
It's the 24th.
So on the night of the 24th, it's a party?
Mm-hmm.
I see you looking down at that message there. Judge, can I retrieve the message from up there?
Sure.
Text message. Thank you, ma'am. All right. So it was March 24th. Is that the date?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you had been staying there for a while, right?
Yes.
Okay. And can you kind of describe for the jury, this is a 2-story house?
Yes. We had an attic as well, so no one went into the attic.
Okay. So 2-story house with an attic that nobody went into. And about what square footage do you think it was?
I don't know.
Okay. Would you consider a large house?
Yes.
Did it have a 3-car garage or a 2-car garage?
The 2-car.
2-car garage. Okay. And was it a detached house, or were there other houses connected directly to it?
It was just a standalone house or
Okay.
other houses.
All right. With a front yard and a fence in the backyard?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And how many bedrooms was it?
3 bedrooms. 3-bedroom house.
A 3-bedroom house?
Yes.
Okay. And how many bedrooms were on the main floor?
None.
None. So all 3 bedrooms were on the second floor?
Yes.
Okay. And so the master bedroom was on the second floor?
Yes.
Okay. And 2 additional bedrooms?
Yes.
Where were those bedrooms in relation to the master bedroom? Across the hall? Down the hall?
It was across and down the hall.
Okay. So if you came out of the master bedroom, the door to the other bedrooms, could you see them?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Who stayed in the other 2 bedrooms?
The master bedroom belonged to the king, to the Dominican bishop.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 2 would fluctuate sometimes,
Okay.
depending if the man was there or not.
Okay.
But I know that they made the second bedroom, it was a couple's room, then it became a studio room, and then other things. But then the girls' room was across the hall.
Okay. I'm talking about March 2022. Whose rooms were those in March of 2022?
The girls' room was across the hall,
Okay.
and I'll call it the studio/men's room was next to it.
But the men were not there, right?
The men were there.
I thought you testified earlier the men were in another state.
I testified that they were in another state before they came back. He allowed the men to come back, so the men were at the house as well.
For the party?
Excuse me?
For the party on the 23rd?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
The men and women were at the house.
Okay.
Yes.
So the party on the 23rd, everybody on that board over there was present, correct?
No.
Okay. Who was not present?
Velvet Marquez. That's it.
Okay.
And
So
Brianna Jacobs.
Velvet Marquez and Brianna Jacobs were not present.
No.
Okay. How many people do you think were at the party?
It was the whole tribe plus 1, which was fauna, so probably 16, 17.
16 to 17 people?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And one of the people that were there based on their testimony, obviously, was somebody named Zoka, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't see a Zoka on the board. Oh, there, Zoca, Jayon Hamilton, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's a female.
Yes.
Okay, female named Jayon. Okay, all right. Now, you testified earlier that Mr. Bishop, according to your testimony, had never been violent with you, right? Do you agree that you testified to that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, and that everything that Mr. Bishop told everybody to do, everybody did, right?
Yes.
Even the men.
Even the men.
Okay. Now, party on the 23rd, there's a new person that shows up, that someone named Fana. Fana, is Fana on the board?
No.
Okay. Is it typical for the group, for people that are not familiar with the group, to come by the house?
Well, traditionally, no, but he started to invite people to his home.
Okay. So Mr. Bishop invited Fana to the home.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a party happening with music and drinking and things like that?
Yes.
Okay.
And dancing.
And dancing. Okay. And this is at night?
Yes.
Okay. And so ultimately, the party's happening on the first floor of the house?
Yes.
Okay. So you described the second floor of the house. What does the first floor of the house look like?
It has a kitchen, a living room, a dining room, another area where we have meetings.
Okay.
And yes.
Okay. And was it kind of an open floor plan, or were there doors to the rooms?
It was open floor,
Open floor plan? So now were doors isolated off?
No.
Okay. All right. And so at some point on the 23rd to the 24th, Mr. Bishop says you're, according to your testimony, a leech, right?
Yes.
He says it out in the party in front of everybody.
Yes.
Loud enough over the music to where you can hear it and everybody else, right?
No, well, at that time, he gathered, like I said, he gathered everyone in that room.
Okay.
And he just had a meeting about how I was a leech and training and, yeah.
So the music's turned down.
Yes.
And 15 or 16 people are in a room.
Yes.
With you.
Yes.
And you're in the middle.
Yes. No,
Male?
I'm not in the middle. I'm on the side.
On the side.
Yes.
Okay. And these are males and females.
Males and females.
Okay. And so this is when Zoka, who is Jayon Hamilton, hits you in the back of the head.
Yes.
Okay. And your testimony on direct was you didn't really know what that was about, and she hit you in the back of the head again, right?
Yes. I spoke something else and she hit me back in the head again. Yes.
You spilled something else?
I said something else.
You said
I
something.
spoke something else. That's what I meant.
Okay. All right. And who did you speak it to?
I just explained it to her, or explained it out loud that I wasn't doing anything,
Mm-hmm.
and she hits me again.
Okay. And this would have been on the night of the 23rd going into the 24th, right? Of March.
The 24th, the night of the 24th.
The night of the 24th going into the 25th.
Right.
Okay. So, and you think it was past midnight or around midnight?
I would say it was probably like 9-ish, possibly.
8 to 9 p.m.?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. So 8 to 9 p.m., you get slapped in the back of the head. At this point, you've had enough. You're about to leave, right?
Yes, because I was about to get jumped by the women. Yes.
Okay. So you go upstairs and you start packing your stuff, right?
Yes, after he came in and told me to go, yes.
Okay. And this was in the extra bedroom that would have been the girls' bedroom, right?
Yes, the
Okay.
girls' bedroom.
Okay. So you went in and started packing your stuff.
Yes.
You got your luggage out of storage from somewhere, right?
The men did, yes.
The men got your luggage out of storage.
Yes.
Nobody at this point has told you anything about you cannot leave. They actually told you to get out, right?
Actually, as I was packing my things, the women was trying to tell me that they was saying all these things. And also when I got my things packed, that's when I went downstairs and they was telling me not to go, basically.
Who was they?
Media Bishop and the tribe basically saying, oh, just do the work. We shouldn't leave. It's hell out there. You're just gonna come back anyway. All those things, yes.
Okay. But nobody's grabbed you by your arm and pulled you back in and forced you not to leave, right?
Incorrect.
Okay, well, tell us that.
Well, I testified earlier that the media bishop pulled me to the other room when he assaulted me.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that time. We're going to get there. I'm talking about at this time when you packed your bags, bless you, we packed your bags and you're getting ready to leave, right?
Yes,
Okay, you called an Uber.
yes.
Okay, the Uber is outside according to your testimony.
Yes, they
Okay.
came outside after a while, yes.
Who came outside
The
for?
Uber,
Okay, the Uber's outside the house.
yes,
Okay, are you speaking with Kelly at this time?
of course, because we was able to book the Uber together.
Okay, Kelly booked you an Uber. You've been talking with her,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And you've seen all sorts of violence, right?
The violence was done on me, yes.
You've seen it. You've
Yes.
been a victim of it, right?
Yes, yes.
You've been hit in the back of the head twice.
And also in the front, in my face.
In your face.
Twice. So 4 times I was hit that way.
All by Miss Zoka, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And you've been threatened.
On his orders.
On his orders, right?
Yes.
You've been threatened about all this, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you're outside. As a matter of fact, I think you testified earlier, you have 2 bags outside, right?
It's not, yeah, yes,
It's outside the house.
yes,
Okay. And you're outside barefoot,
yes.
right? You've called Kelly and said, Kelly, this is just a bad situation for me, right?
I texted her.
I'm trying to get out of here, right?
Yes,
Okay. And so, but for some reason, you're outside, and according to your testimony, I'm almost in the Uber, about to get an Uber, right?
yes, yes,
The door is open to it.
yes,
They're sitting right there.
yes,
You're outside the house,
yes,
but you go all the way back inside.
yes,
Leave your bags outside.
yes,
You go all the way back up, not to the first floor, but you go back up to the second floor.
yes,
And when you go back up, your goal is to hug Mr. Bishop again,
yes, and
The-
to say goodbye and rush out, yes.
to say goodbye to him.
Yes,
After you, based on your testimony earlier, the prior hugs led to sex.
well.
That's what you testified to, right?
Yes, but not every hug leads to sex.
Okay, but you go back inside knowing that when you hugged him before, it led to sex. Now you're going inside and you're hugging him again at night after you witness all this violence, right? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay, and you go into his bedroom.
no, I don't go into his bedroom.
Where do you go to?
I was in front of his bedroom. Well, at the end of the stairs, at the top of the stairs, that's his bedroom door. And
Okay.
that's where I was, at the top of the stairs.
Okay, and was he standing there when you got there?
Yes,
Okay, and so that's when you and he go into his room, correct?
to whose room?
To Mr. Bishop's room.
No,
What room did you go into?
he moved me into the room across the hall, which was the girls' room.
The girls' bedroom.
Yes,
So not his, but the girls' bedroom.
yes,
There were no other girls in that bedroom at that time.
no,
Okay, so just you and him.
yes,
Okay, and you and he have sexual intercourse, correct?
he assaulted me, yes,
Okay, he assaulted you.
yes,
Okay, he pulled you in and told you, I think according to your testimony on direct, that you went in and you had your legs around him, for instance. I think that's how you testified, right?
he placed my legs around him, yes,
He placed your legs around him.
yes,
So was this in a standing position or a seated position?
sitting position,
So he's sitting down on the ground and you're straddled over him on the ground.
it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like he wrapped my legs around him while listening to him, yes,
Okay, so you're face to face.
yes.
Okay, and how are you dressed at this time?
I don't
Wow.
remember how I was dressed. I honestly don't remember how I was dressed.
Or could you take a second and try?
I had pants on, I believe.
You had pants on.
Yes,
Okay, were they button pants?
they weren't jeans.
Like slacks?
I honestly, they were like, I guess pantaloons. I don't remember.
Okay, but you didn't have shoes on based on your testimony, right?
Yes,
Okay, and you had a shirt on, right?
yes,
Okay, and underwear, correct?
no,
No underwear.
no. We
Okay,
didn't.
well,
The
we won't-
tribe was against underwear. We didn't wear underwear.
Okay, so Fruit Loom gets no business. All right, so you had your phone though.
My phone was somewhere else. I think.
Where was it?
I think I don't remember where my phone was at the time. It was probably somewhere around, but
Like where?
possibly on the floor somewhere.
Okay, on the
While
floor.
he had me in his arms.
Okay.
I was crying.
Okay. In that house, how many bedrooms are, I mean, there's 3 bedrooms, right?
Yes.
How many bathrooms?
3 bathrooms.
3 bathrooms?
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of bathrooms for that house. Which floors are the bathrooms on?
There's 2 on the first floor, 1 in the master bedroom, 1 in the one that's connected to the second bedroom, and a half bathroom downstairs.
Okay, so it's 2.5 baths.
Yeah.
Okay, half bathroom downstairs,
Yes.
1 in the master bedroom,
Yes.
and 1 connected to which room?
The second bedroom.
The second.
And the third bedroom, actually. There was 2 doors, so yes, the second and third bedroom was connected to that one bathroom.
So a Jack and Jill kind of bedroom, or bathroom between 2 bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're in there. You're dressed, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's dressed.
Yes.
Okay. And ultimately, you guys have sexual intercourse in that bedroom, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, he doesn't force your clothes off or anything like that, right?
He helped take off my pants, yes.
He helped you take them off.
Yes.
As in he assisted in doing that.
Yes.
Okay. And he didn't cut you, scratch you, or harm you any way physically in doing it, did he?
No, not physically, but mentally and emotionally, yes.
Okay. He mentally and emotionally made you come back to him, right?
He mentally and emotionally hurt me, yes. And
Okay.
abused me, yes.
Okay. Do you disagree that, let's, I guess, just address that at this point. You told the state that you told them no, no, no a bunch of times,
Yes.
right? And then eventually you just said, well, I said, okay, I'm going to do it with you one last time. Right.
Yes, I said that, but I never told him I'm going to do it with him one last time. I told him okay.
You just told him okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you were saying no, 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 were you saying it in your head or were you saying it out loud?
Out loud.
Okay. No, 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 as in I don't want to do it. No, no, no. Or I don't want to be here. No, no, no.
I don't want to do it. No, no, no. I don't want to be here. No, no, no. I want to go. No, no, no. My Uber's outside. No, no, no.
Okay. And again, this was after you have come back inside the house and gone all the way back up to the second floor of the house.
I know that's right,
Right,
Janae. Get them together.
All right. So you tell him you'll do it one last time. He says okay. You said earlier after some time of him getting his pleasure, you pushed him off.
Yes.
Okay.
But I did not tell him I'll do it with him one last time. I keep telling you. I tell him okay.
Oh, you said
He
it
was,
right.
he was the one who said just do it one last time.
Okay.
Yes.
And you said okay to that.
Okay. And after a lot of resisting and a lot of manipulation, I said okay.
Okay. So he's asked you a bunch of times, have sex with me, have sex with me, and your response is nope,
No, no, no.
nope. And then eventually he says it just one more time, and you say okay.
No. After he said I'm not going to rape you.
Which means he's not going to force you, right?
I didn't know that.
So your response was okay, right?
I was scared after he used the word rape.
You were so scared that you left the Uber outside and came back inside the house and went to the second floor.
I don't know how to explain to you.
Okay. All right.
My mental process in that moment, I was confused, I was vulnerable, and I was being manipulated.
Okay.
And I was being convinced that having sex with him for that last time would be a good thing.
Okay.
So I said, okay, because I wanted to continuously be good with the king. I didn't want to be a troll.
Okay. You wanted to continue a good relationship with him.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was convinced that it would be a good thing.
Okay. All right. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. You end up leaving. You're communicating with Kelly about leaving, right?
After the sex, yes.
Yeah, there's text messages here where you communicate with Kelly.
Before, yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so is it 2 Ubers that are called, right? 2 separate Ubers, right?
Yes.
One the next day.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So after the sex, you indicated earlier you took a shower, right?
Yes. After
Okay.
the sex, I took a shower.
Okay. He leaves you by your stand. You're taking a shower, right?
Yes.
You're texting with Kelly.
Yes,
Okay. Then, and this is midnight time?
yes,
Okay. And so you say, well, I'm gonna leave because I'm afraid, right?
yes.
Okay. At this point, is the door locked to keep you in the room?
When
The bedroom that you're in?
it was a locked, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure.
Or did you try to open it?
No, I went to the bathroom door after he left out the front door.
So that meant you could leave the room?
No,
Okay. Or you went to another room?
I went to the bathroom after the sex, after the assault, yes.
Okay. Did you ever try to leave the room?
Well, yeah, I tried to push him off and tell him, no, I don't want to do it anymore. Like I said before, he had his arms around me and his legs around me.
Oh, he had his legs around you.
No, I had my legs around him.
So you have your legs around him in a posture. I can't do the genie, but like this, right?
Yes,
Okay. Both legs wrapped around him,
yes.
around his body.
His
Correct?
position there, yes.
Okay. But you couldn't get up from that position.
I felt like I was powerless in that moment.
Okay. All right. So you go to the bathroom, you call Kelly, and your intent is, I'm really afraid, I'm going to leave. Right?
Yes, I was afraid because after I told him I still wanted to go, after the assault, he told me to shut up really loudly.
Okay.
And told me that I was his bitch and his property and I'm not going nowhere. That scared me.
Scared you. Okay. All right. So at this point, you're afraid, you're taking a shower, you're calling Kelly, right?
I'm texting her, yes.
Text her. Okay. And you're intended to leave, right?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't.
I had to sneak out because there's people everywhere. You can't just get up and just go.
Right. Party's still happening downstairs.
Yes.
Okay. And so you just can't leave.
Like everyone just walking around, you
Right.
have to plan your escape.
Okay. So you stay in that bedroom upstairs.
Yes.
Okay. And then people come in and they go to sleep.
Yes.
Okay. And your intent is to leave.
Yes.
But 9 hours later, after you wake up, you decide you're going to leave then.
I overslept.
You overslept.
Yes.
So you were able, being deadly fearful, you fell asleep in the house.
It was hard, but I had to get some rest. Yes, mentally to recover and do what I have to do. Yes.
Okay. And so 9 hours later, you wake up.
Yes. At nine something, I woke up.
Okay. And that's early for you guys to get up at 9 o'clock.
It depends. Sometimes it depends.
Okay. And I think you testified earlier that you had to sneak around to see if others were up, right?
Yes.
So being that there were 15 or 16 people in the house, Mr. Bishop was in a room that was the master bedroom.
Yes.
How many people were in there with him?
Well, we slept in threes apparently because he was the three god. That's one of the names that I forgot to mention other than nature word earlier. So he took this persona as three god.
Okay.
And we had to sleep in three. So 3 women slept with him. I slept with 2 other women in their room, and the men slept in threes downstairs everywhere, scattered everywhere, in the dining room, in the meeting room, in the living room, in the garage. They were everywhere.
They were everywhere. Okay. So based on your testimony earlier, you left the bedroom that you were in with the 2 other women, and you snuck around to see if others were up, right?
Sheba was the only one sleeping in that room. I said earlier, Zoka was the one that was up and in the shower.
Okay, so Zoka's in the shower.
Yes.
You don't come across her.
Well, no, I didn't. I just opened the door to see if she was in the shower, and she was. I took my ring and I left.
You took your ring out of the bathroom. This is the same person that's hit you in the back and the front of your head.
Yes.
Okay, and you know that person's in the shower.
Yes.
But you go in there and get your ring out.
Yes.
Before you leave.
Yes.
She never says anything to you though.
No, she didn't even know I was in there.
Okay.
I did that quietly.
Did it quietly. Okay. And you got your bags and you ended up leaving. Right?
Yes, I tiptoed down the stairs and left. Yes.
Okay. So after that, you indicated that, as I understand it correctly, you go to a 24-hour spot. Right.
After that, I went to the studio, Kelly told me I could stay for about 3 days, then I went to a 24-hour day spa.
Okay. So is that a spot where you go for full like treatment, all the hair and the
Yes.
massage and all that stuff?
I didn't get out near those, I didn't have the money for that, I just slept there.
Just slept at a 24-hour day spot?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you sleeping there by permission or without permission? Did the business owner allow you to stay there?
I paid for it.
You paid for it?
Yeah.
Where did you get money to pay for it from?
I also had another supporter who sent me $50 out of nowhere. Her name was Miss Anita. All I had to just do was say hi, and she sent me $50.
She sent you $50. So the only $50 you had in the world after you were raped and leaving a what you call a cult, you go to a 24-hour spot.
Yes, and also how did I get to that? I don't remember where else I got the other money, but I think I was gifted more money.
You gifted more money?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So do you recall, as the state has already asked you, afterwards you went and you gave, did you have your own YouTube presence yourself?
I basically had an online presence. I wouldn't say just YouTube. I wouldn't say YouTube per se because I wasn't really on YouTube like that.
Okay.
I had an online presence on, well, yeah, YouTube because people documented me a lot. So yeah, I had an online presence.
Right. People knew who you were.
Yes.
They knew when you left this group, right?
Yes, because he stated when I left.
Okay, so he stated when you left.
Yes, I didn't go online and say anything after that. I deleted my number and I deactivated my Instagram right after I left the home.
Okay, all right. And so you end up leaving, you're out and you stay in a 24-hour day spa and where do you live after that? Where do you go stay at?
After that, I went to my brother-in-law's home.
Brother-in-law's home, and he lives in Lithuania, I'm assuming.
He lived in Fayetteville.
Fayetteville. So I thought you said your family was in Lithuania.
They were, but I never said my brother-in-law.
Okay, so brother-in-law and your sister then?
My sister came and moved in afterwards, yes.
Your sister-in-law moved in with her husband after you moved there?
My twin sister moved in after I was with my brother-in-law, yes.
My glasses are okay. So you go and stay with your brother-in-law. This is for the week or so afterwards, right? Sorry, Judge.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And this is when you give an interview to a online YouTuber called The T, right?
I went ahead and did the interview while I was at the spa. This was probably like 5 days within I was at the spa since it was 24 hours. I took my time to be there. I didn't know where else I was going to go, honestly.
Okay. And based on your testimony, you gave a 6-hour online YouTube interview with the T, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
T is in THETEA, the T,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that is ran by Chantel Cohen,
Yes.
right? And so you're at a 24-hour a day spa and you give a 6-hour long interview about your time with Mr. Bishop,
Yes.
right? Okay. And during that time frame, I think you interviewed, what you told the state earlier was that you called the time that you were with Mr. Bishop making love in that interview. Do you disagree that you said that?
I don't disagree.
Okay. Do you disagree that Chantel Coleman is a person that doesn't particularly like Mr. Bishop?
I'd ask for her to answer. I don't necessarily, I believe that she just wanted to document the cult, yes, and I don't think she favors him, yes.
Okay. And you told her during the interview that you and Mr. Bishop were making love on that night. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that you in fact believed that Mr. Bishop was faking, right?
Yes.
That you didn't believe he was being authentic with you.
Yes.
Right? So you did not only use the word that we're making love, but you said this guy who's having sexual intercourse with me, he's not being authentic with me. He's making it up, right?
Yes, that's what I said in the interview.
And that was all recorded in a 6-hour interview, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, after that, you went and tried to get a warrant for Mr. Bishop's arrest, right?
Yes.
Okay. And in order to do that, did you do a warrant application?
I just reported the revenge porn.
Okay, you reported it.
I wasn't familiar with the government or the laws or anything, but I just went ahead and reported him so I can take my life back.
Okay, and you didn't say anything in that report about rape, did you?
No,
You didn't say anything about that in that report to police about anything about, hey, by the way, these folks kept me here against my will.
no, I didn't understand what happened to me.
You didn't understand what happened to you?
No.
Okay, so then you give an interview to law enforcement once they come out and talk to you, right?
Yes.
Okay, and do you disagree in your interview with law enforcement that you told law enforcement in your interview that you and Mr. Bishop were making love?
Yes, and again, I would also let you know that making love is a term that he told us to say. He told us to say making love as a term from sex, sexual assault, whatever you have, sodomy, whatever you have it. He will let us know that making love is all those things.
Okay, so you'd agree with me that in your interview, which was over half an hour long, that at the 5 minute 18 seconds mark, you indicated that without question from law enforcement, that you and Mr. Bishop were making love. Okay, I'll follow up with a separate version of that question.
Hold on. Sustain the objection, let's move on.
Okay, do you disagree that later in that interview that you told law enforcement and to their response that you were not sure how to explain if it was consensual or not?
Yes, because like I said before, I kept telling him no. I feel as if I was manipulated to doing it. So I didn't know whether it was a consensual one because I didn't initially wanted to do it in the first place.
Okay, so you told law enforcement when you were asked that you didn't know if it was consensual or not, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Bishop didn't tell you how to explain that part of it.
No.
That was an answer that you gave law enforcement, right?
Yes. Correct.
Now, I want to run through, and won't be much longer. Can I get your text message? Judge, if I could show her Stacy Exhibit 1.
Yes. Are you trying to put it up on the screen?
I think the state's gonna help me with that.
Okay, let me.
Okay, sure. So on the screen in front of you would be State's Exhibit 1. These are text messages, according to you. These were not taken from your phone, they were taken from Kelly's phone, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so looking at these messages, looking at the first one, March 24th, 12:58 a.m. Hi, Kelly, are you up? Right?
Yes.
And she responds, yes, I am, love, everything okay? Right?
Yes.
And you ask her, hey, can I come to your house or to your studio? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
Can you just hold on a second? Can you see, or do you need to get up and get closer? Can I get closer? Okay.
and so she tells you that she can stay at her studio. You stayed at her studio before, right?
No.
You never stayed at her studio before. Okay. And who is Kelly to you?
Kelly's a friend, a
Okay.
long-time friend, just someone I knew and associated on social media with.
Okay. And you never stayed with her before?
No.
Just randomly picked a person out on social media?
Yes.
Okay. How did you know she had a place, her house here locally?
I don't know. I was reaching out for anything. I'm just reaching out to her.
All right.
In hopes that she has somewhere to stay for me.
Okay. All right. And so this is after you and Mr. Bishop have had sex?
This right here was before.
This was before. Okay. So this is when you're getting ready. This is 12:58 a.m. on March 24th. Do you see the time at the top?
Yes.
That's where you text her, right?
Yes.
And would these be the only text messages that you had in your phone with her?
The only text messages?
Yeah. Would there be other messages before this?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. How did you get her number to text her that?
Like I said, we've been in communication. She's also someone who had purchased a tarot reading from me years ago, and ever since then, we've been very cool.
Okay, but how'd you get her number this day?
This social media, I guess. I say no. I don't think we had prior messages because I probably deleted the thread because we weren't allowed to get contact with any outsiders.
Okay, all right. So looking at the next message, I just showed you State's Exhibit 1, which was page 1. State's Exhibit 1, page 2 is on the screen now. The message from her, it says, "Are you in Atlanta?" And your response is, "I'm trying to get a ride as well. I don't have enough for an Uber. Can you help me with that?" Right?
Yes.
This is before you had sex with Mr. Bishop, right?
Yes.
This is after you've been slapped by Zoka in the front of your head and the back of your head, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she says to you, "Can you wait till tomorrow evening? We can ride MARTA. Where are you now? Can I call you?" Your response is yes, right?
Yes.
And you say, "Okay." She says, "Okay, where is your address? Only you are coming, correct?" And she says, you say, "I'll see where I am." Is that your response?
Yes, that's my response.
The house that you were at, how did you get there initially?
When I got there December 26th, I was taken there by a friend. They gave me the address.
Who did?
Well, I believe it was Efru.
Okay.
And I showed up.
Okay. Now, I think you testified earlier that they didn't like people knowing the address, correct?
Of course, but I was an exception because he wanted me.
Okay. But didn't you testify that people would just randomly come to visit and be part of it?
I testified that he started doing that. It wasn't an initial thing. It wasn't an initial thing. He started to do that after a while.
Okay, so let's go to the next message then. He started to do that after a while. In your next message, which this is still State's Exhibit 1, page 3, if you look down almost at the bottom of the page, it says, "Nah, I don't want to give away the address because they aren't comfortable with that." So how do you justify what you just said with that message that you wrote there?
Basically, I felt like I still, after being abused, after being humiliated, I still had a loyalty to the group in some type of way, shape, or form. So I said that I didn't want to give out the address to any outsiders. However, I didn't really remember at that time that he was giving out his address like that. It doesn't occur to me.
But don't you agree with me based on what you testified to, that you've been beat up and called a leech and had a bunch of people surround you?
Yes.
That you're in a hurry to leave this place?
Yes.
That you're scared?
Yes.
That you witnessed a bunch of acts of violence?
Yes.
But you don't want to get a person address to come find you to get out?
Yes.
That you don't want to just walk away?
No.
You can't just walk away?
No.
You need somebody to drive and pick you up?
Yes.
But you'll have to wait for them to come get you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, continuing with State's Exhibit 1, I think we're on page 3. Moving to page 4, which is on the screen. This one, you give her an address. "Thank you, I'm gonna get the address to the CVS close," right?
Yes.
And you give her an address to a CVS.
Yes.
And she says, "How close are you to the CVS?"
Yes.
Right? And you say, 2 minutes, I'll see how much an Uber to the CVS is. Right?
Yes.
She's calling the Uber, only you are welcome material, right?
Yes.
And you say, "Of course, thank you, Uber to the CVS," right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, okay, I'll let you know when I'm there. And she's telling you 7 minutes, 10 minutes away. That's for the Uber to get there, right? And then it says 10 minutes on page 5 of State's Exhibit 1. We see what looks like a 10-minute Uber Roderick with 7,000 trips there coming to pick you up, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at the top of this message here, it says, "Okay, they won't take me, so I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna get there." Who is they?
Your Honor, can I interrupt? Let me see, Mr. Trump.
Well, answer the question first, then you may.
Thank you.
Okay.
Who is they in that text message?
They, as in the co-members.
So these people that have beat you up,
Well, that was the question, right? Let's let her
Sure.
figure out.
I just asked that she not be allowed to talk to you.
No, she's gonna go right into the,
Yes.
where you're there. The others were in the hot box. Okay. Y'all need to take a break while we're doing this?
Okay, I don't know how long we come back, so give me just a sec, y'all.
This Mr. Booker is not playing with Miss Janae today. Whew. It's kind of heavy for me as well because I'm just over here like, now listen, you have no earthly clue what these people have been through. But again, I just have to keep reminding myself that he is doing his job. And I'm sure it's a difficult job to do.
Molested.
Defending someone
Would
who
you
couldn't
say?
do.
Okay, yeah. His reference was he said he was looking.
Use your mic.
We have two short witnesses.
Great, okay.
Desire is to kind of
too hard. And
He sounds to me like I said, I think
Yes.
Okay. On
or
you deleted off your phone between you and Kelly, right?
Yes, from what I know.
Okay. All right. So looking at the messages here, you agree with me on the screen. There's a guy driving an Uber car coming to pick you up. Says 10 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay. And above that, there's a message on the left, and it says, "Okay, they won't take me, so I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna get there." Right?
Yes.
You agree with me? This was on the same night that you indicated you were attacked.
Yes.
Right? Okay. And so is it fair to say, based on what you said beforehand, that pronoun they is referring to people in that house, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so you've asked people in the house who believe you are a leech and are concerned that beat you up to take you to CVS, right?
Yes.
With your bags.
See?
With your bags.
Yes.
Okay. And these are like luggage bags, right?
Yes.
That look like you were leaving.
Yes.
That would be contrary to you not being allowed to leave, right?
No.
Okay.
Because
go ahead.
I will explain. When you are trying to leave the combination code, sometimes they're going to, basically trash you, not talk to you, and everything of that nature. However, if sometimes they just will, if the cult leader is compliant to that, if the cult leader wants you to go and says, okay, go ahead and do whatever you gotta do, they will do it. But because I asked, I guess they didn't want to, or whatever.
Okay. Who did you ask?
I don't remember.
Okay. Who had a car there?
Who had a car?
Uh-huh.
Well, Leo Bishop had a car.
Okay. And so did you ask, since they and Eligio, Mr. Bishop had a car, was it him that you asked to drive you to CVS?
No.
Okay. Was it somebody else then? Since you said you don't remember. So was it somebody else then?
It possibly was, yeah.
Okay. So who else had a car that you would be asking to drive you?
Maybe one of the men, I guess. I don't recall.
Okay, look at the board and which of the men up there that would have been there had a car.
So in the tribe, they have people that go out and do things.
Okay.
So there was a team of people that can go out and do things. I'm not sure which one I asked. I think it was Juju, to see if I can go get some assistance with that. I don't recall, but I don't remember.
Okay. All right. And so this was before the Uber got there and you were outside with your bags.
Yes.
Okay. And so after they said, no, we're not going to drive you there, you got an Uber that's waiting outside that you go out to, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And she's sending an Uber to CVS.
Yes.
Okay. Now, later in moving forward to to message 10, you message her further down, can you cash out me for an Uber to CVS? I don't know what TMO means. I'm assuming PLS means please.
For, is tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Okay, so you're asking her to get you Uber on the next day.
Uber for, the next day, yes.
Okay, so you're not in a hurry to leave.
No, this is around the time I already devised a plan to leave out in like 5 o'clock in the rising, in the AM.
Okay, and you text for say, okay, shh, going now. Were there noises happening between the messages while you were saying shh and she was saying be quiet?
I was telling her to be quiet and not text me back because I would be around people at that time. And I didn't want them to see that I was texting someone around that time. So I told her to be quiet, basically meaning do not text me back. Because I am trying to devise this plan to escape. I don't need any faulty things in my life.
Okay. Okay. So, but you continue to text her right after that.
When?
I'm sorry. The very next screen, which would be slide 11 of State's Exhibit 1, be quiet, cash app is the question she asked. And she says, this is the one, right?
I don't see myself texting her, that's her texting me.
I'll show you then. On the next one, which would be State's Exhibit 12, or I'm sorry, State's Exhibit 1, page 12. Yes, thank you. Is that you texting her?
Yes.
Are you calling an Uber, she says, and you says, yeah, when I get up.
Yes.
So you're not in a hurry to leave, right?
At this point, I'm not in a hurry to leave.
Okay. And she says to you tomorrow morning, right? Do you disagree with that?
No, I see it right there.
Okay. And your response is in the rising, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, earlier you testified that you were in the shower though when you were texting, right?
Yes.
So how would people hear you talking to her in the shower? Why would you be concerned about that?
Because like I stated before, we don't have locked doors in the cult. So people come in and come out of the bathroom, meaning the women. So the women, if they saw that I was texting someone else or trying to leave, they would report it to a Ezekiel bishop and I would got in trouble.
Okay. All right. Now you text her some more, which would be the last page, which is State's Exhibit 13. It says 14, but I think the last one is blank, I guess. Yeah, the last one is blank. All right, so State's Exhibit 13 that I'm holding here, or let me rephrase that. State's Exhibit 1, page 13, indicates that you say tomorrow morning, or she says tomorrow morning, you say in the rising, she says, okay, keep me posted. And then you send her a message to tell your mom to stop messaging you, correct?
Yeah, I told her don't let my mom message me, but let her know that I'm okay.
Okay.
So my mom did not message me.
Well, do you disagree with me? Do you see the number where it says 347?
Yes.
You see the last sentence in that little blurb above that?
Yes.
Are you telling this person not to message you or your mom not to message you?
I'm telling Kelly to tell my mom not to message me, to tell her that I'm okay. So I gave Kelly my mom's number, to tell Kelly to tell my mom everything that I told her and what's going on, but do not contact me, do not message me.
For your mom not to message you?
Right.
Okay. All right. And then later at 9:41 a.m., you tell her, hey, basically, I didn't wake up in time. Now I'm ready to go, right?
Right.
Was that the last message that you have with her? Is there more to this message chain than that?
It possibly could be.
Okay. Do you know where that's at?
Do I know where it's at?
Was that, did you never gave your phone to the police, correct?
No.
Nope. All right. Just a few more questions and I'll sit down. Now, after so after you left on the 25th of March, that morning, right? You did a,
Yes.
okay. After you left on the 25th, thank you, reporter, sorry. You had a lot of different family members you talked to, right?
Yes.
Your brother-in-law,
Yes.
your twin sister,
Yes.
your mother.
Well, not right after that. No. After that, I just was talking to Kelly and my mom and my twin sister. But that was it. Not my brother-in-law until like some time after.
Okay. Okay. All right. But you were staying with him, though.
Yeah, I stayed with him after a week and a half, I guess.
Okay.
After leaving.
All right. The folks from the 24-hour spot, right? You were a lot of different places, right?
Yes.
And so, and you undid, or however you, on social media, you didn't have a Twitter or Instagram account anymore.
Yeah, I deleted my Instagram.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I barely went on Twitter.
And you barely went on Twitter.
Yes.
But you still had some social media presence, right?
Yes.
Because again, you gave a 6-hour-long interview to someone called the T, right?
Yes.
All right. And people still knew you were online because of that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you recall that did you go on YouTube after and start any of videos of your own that were not the T?
Not after that, no.
Okay. You never did any video, I'm not sure how to describe it, but a YouTube video where you started it yourself and posted it yourself.
I started that possibly last year.
Okay.
And not like directly after I left the call, no.
Okay. Did you ever do any, I guess that would be called Facebook Live, or any other type of recorded audio afterwards?
After, not directly after, like I said, but after I started to come out and deactivated my Instagram, yes.
Okay. Do you ever recall doing an interview where you told a person that you were not
Hey, D. Rizzo. Yes, this is the first witness still. And yeah, red bullet back.
happy that Malia was the queen?
No.
Do you ever recall doing an interview where you told someone that you would prefer to be the queen rather than Malia?
No.
So that conversation, you've never stated that before, correct?
I don't recall that, no.
You don't recall that?
No.
She did say that. From my memory, from my memory.
And
From my memory as well. Thank you.
the phone, so after you come back inside the house from the Uber, your bags that you've taken out to the Uber, you come back inside with your phone and you go upstairs,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you have your phone with you?
Yes.
Okay, and that's when you and Mr. Bishop are together, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that's in a room that's not his room, but another separate room?
Yes, it's a girl room.
The girl. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Redirect.
Yeah, I know you've been up there. I'll be quick. The police ever ask you for your phone?
I don't recall that, no.
Had they asked, would you do
They
it?
asked for like the evidence, yeah, of him, the Twitter and everything like that. I don't remember all that.
Okay. And the videos that were posted on Twitter after you left
Yes.
on the defendant's account, I just want to be clear, did you consent to those being posted on March 27th?
No, not at all.
At any point before March 27th, had you given some sort of permission to the defendant to post these forever?
Permission, I would say he said he was just gonna post them. Like, he didn't ask me, he said, I'm gonna post them.
He just did what he wanted.
He did
It
what he
wasn't.
wanted at any time, and we was not allowed to say no.
That's all I have.
Second line of questioning.
I'm surprised he's not impeaching her. That's weird.
Do you disagree that you said earlier that you consented to those videos being posted?
I basically said that he does whatever he wants to do just so long come. So I think you should take that. I said, okay.
Okay. Do you disagree that you said that you consented to that?
I don't disagree.
Okay, and it's the same video that were posted at a prior time when you were in the group, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President? All right, may the witness be excused? Or do you want to keep her under subpoena? She can just step out of the courtroom, you can decide later. Okay.
Normally,
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me double check and see if anybody comes back. Hold on, y'all.
It was a nice redirect. Bibbity bobbity boop.
I was with a friend.
that wasn't, according to my recollection, that wasn't true.
You swear or affirm the testimony to the court to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Uh-oh. Got another witness.
Statement, spell your name for the court.
My name is Kelly Johnson.
All right. And do you know Janae Newell?
I do.
How do you know her?
We are in the same
Court is
community
going
here
past dinner
in Atlanta,
time? Damn.
that are very spiritual, like to do yoga, eat clean, meditation. I'm an artist, and she's also an artist, so that's how we connected.
About how long ago did y'all first meet?
We met 2016, 17.
Okay, and so did you know her before she joined Alethea Bishop's group?
Yes.
And were you aware when she went and joined that group?
I was.
And were you able to maintain communication with her when she was in the group?
No.
Not at all, or not as much as before?
I didn't speak to her. At all? I think he was asking, he asked you if at all or not as much. And do you recall? I don't remember speaking to her, no.
Did you receive messages from her on March 22nd and 24th, excuse me, of 2022?
This was when she was during her escape. Yeah, she was trying to leave.
Okay. How long had it been since you'd heard from Janae before that?
It's been a while.
Wow, like I know it's been a couple of years, but like days, weeks, months, years.
Since we'd like spoken, or I seen her in person.
No, like spoken, texted, talked online, saw in person, anything.
Yeah, maybe 6 months.
Okay.
6 or 7 months.
Can I approach the witness?
Yes.
Showing you what has been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 1. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 1?
I do.
And what are they?
These are text messages between me and Nateri. Janae.
And did you know, which name did you call her?
Nateri.
What time of day was it when you first heard from Nateri at that point?
It was late.
And what were you doing at that time?
I was with a friend.
And did anything about the conversation concern you?
Yeah, she stated that she was in the shower and she was afraid and she was trying to leave.
And what did you do in response to that?
I was trying to call her an Uber so that she could get out, come to me, come to my art studio at that time.
Was there anything unusual about that?
It's
about the process of ordering the Uber.
Yeah, she wasn't able, the communication with her
while I was talking to her was very sporadic. It wasn't like I was communicating with her consistently. I would hear from her for about maybe like a minute or so, and then she would come back to me 10 minutes later, like, hey, I'm trying to leave. Hey, I'm sorry, I can't. Or like, they're not letting me leave, or I'm trying to leave. And it was just a lot of back and forth.
And ultimately, did the Uber make it there?
The Uber made it to the CVS, and I was on the phone with the Uber during that time. Like, hey, can you please stay there? My friend is trying to make it there. And he was very gracious. I was on the phone with him probably for like 30 minutes.
And was he able to pick up material that day?
No.
And while you were communicating with the Uber driver and he was waiting at the CVS, were you actively hearing from Natalia at that point, or was that one of those times where there was a gap?
There was a gap. There were gaps, yeah.
So you couldn't get a hold of her at that time?
No.
Were you eventually able to meet up with Janae and Natalia?
Yes.
When was that?
At my art studio early the next morning.
And how did she appear to you, like physically? How did she look?
Stressed. Happy to be out of that situation, but she looked stressed.
And when did you allow her to stay there at the art studio for a while?
I did.
And approximately how long did she stay there?
It could have been anywhere between 3 days, 3 or 4 days, something like that.
I could have a second here.
Okay.
That is all the questions I have for Ms. Johnson at this time.
All right, Ross.
Hey, good afternoon, Ms. Johnson.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm lovely.
All right, thank you. My name is Robert Book. I represent Mr. Bishop. Just a few questions for you. So you indicated that you are part of the same spiritual community, right?
That's right.
And that you're an artist?
Yes, I am.
Like a painting type artist?
That's right.
Or a music artist?
I'm a painter.
Painting, okay. All right, and you met Miss Newell in 2016, 2017?
Yeah.
Okay, where'd you meet her?
I believe I met her at an art show.
An art show? Okay. And you're how old today?
I'm 32.
32? Okay. All right. And she's a little younger than you, right?
That's right.
Okay. All right. And you knew her before so I mean, 2016, 2017, you've known her for a while, that's fair to say, right?
Yes.
Okay. You're flipping through those text messages. I was actually about those real quick. Those text messages, are they from your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Were those text messages that she gave to the police?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, did you?
It was a while ago when she got them from me, so
Who
I
was she?
think Natiri, so.
Natiri got the messages from your phone to give to police?
So this is what I remember. I believe her possibly asking me for them to like screenshot and text them, or she sent them. I can't remember.
Okay, so she may have sent the messages to the police.
That's right.
From your phone?
Well, they're mine then, yeah. They're my messages.
Were you interviewed by the police?
During what time?
Back in 2022.
Was I interviewed by the police? No.
In 2022? Yes, ma'am.
No.
About those text messages?
No.
Okay. All right. Couple questions. So you indicated that she stayed at your, it's a fancy art word, like a studio. She stayed at your studio, right?
That's right.
Okay. Was this an art studio?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And did anybody else stay there?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. And you think she stayed there for a few days?
Yes.
Okay. And this would have been somewhere around the end of March 2022.
That's right.
Right. Okay. Now, you said on direct testimony that it was 6 months before that since you had last spoken to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that me? She answered yes or no?
Yes.
It is. Okay, so the 6 months you had spoken to her before that, was that by text message as well?
Yeah, it could have been text message or Instagram.
Okay, had you seen her in person?
Before she went to carbonation, or
In the 6 months you had seen her?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Did you know she was here in Atlanta?
Yes, I did.
How did you know that?
Through posts, like her sister would post when she was in town.
Hey, observing stuff. This is the friend that was helping Natiri basically escape. She was trying to help her get an Uber and yada yada yada. This is the friend of Natiri, aka Janae.
Her sister would post when Janae was in town?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. And so based on her sister's post that she was in town, then you were able to determine that she was in town, right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, you, based on the testimony you just gave, you knew her as Natiri, right?
Yes.
And when you met her in 2016, 2017, you knew her as that name at that time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So in 2016, 2017, which is before 2022, Natiri was the name that she was going by with you at that time as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that's when you met her at an art show?
Yes.
Okay. And she told her name was Natiri?
Yes.
And she lived here in Atlanta at that time?
That's right.
Okay. Now, the state just asked you, they gave you a message, which we have in front of you, you've been looking at. They asked you if or you said the message between you and her was sporadic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody does it. It's just the court reporter needs to make sure you get a full word. That's all.
Okay. In the messages that you have between her, is there a large gap? Those messages, would you agree with me, they don't have time on them?
Yes.
They don't, right?
Yes.
Okay. So being they don't have times on them, how were you able to determine that there was a large gap in time?
Because I remember speaking with her, and then she wasn't replying to me, and I was talking to the Uber about him being able to stay.
Okay.
So I knew that it was some time period before then for like me to speak to her, and then to the Uber telling them to stay. So.
Okay. And you said you spoke with her. Was that only by text message or verbally as well?
It was text.
No verbal calls.
No verbal calls.
All right. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Can you redirect? Yeah. All right, thank you. Make sure you excuse. Yes. Thank you so much. You're free to go. All right, you have another short witness? Yes. Okay.
Yes, I want to see what this prosecutor does.
Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony to the court to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
State and spell your name for the court, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Officer Hugh, HUI, badge 3614.
And Officer Hugh, how are you currently employed?
With the DeKalb County Police Department.
How long have you been with the DeKalb County Police Department?
Over 3 years, going on 4.
And what are your current duties with DKPD?
I'm a uniform officer, I patrol.
And back on March 30th, 2022, what was your title or your role?
Officer.
And you said that you generally patrol, so do you respond to calls for help or calls for service?
Yes.
And back on March 30th, 2022, did you have occasion to speak with a Janae Janae Newell?
Yes, I did.
And can you tell the jury about your contact with her?
Yes, on that day, I responded to 4451 Lawrenceville Highway. It's a Tucker precinct. I went there to respond to a domestic call that occurred at 2993 Arbor Chase.
All right, and let me pause you there. You said you went to Tucker Precinct. Is that
Yes.
the DeKalb County Police Department headquarters?
Yes.
And how were you dispatched to that location?
911 dispatch.
Okay, so a 911 call comes in, it goes to you, and then you go to headquarters.
Yes.
And when you got to headquarters, do you remember what time you got there?
Around like 10:50 a.m.
And go ahead.
Oh, at 10:50 a.m.
And were you in your marked patrol car and uniform?
Yes.
And the call that came out was some sort of domestic.
Yes.
And so what happened when you got to headquarters?
When I spoke to Mrs. Noel, she advised that she had joined a sex cult, and her boyfriend was the leader, Mr. Bishop. She advised that he had posted like sexually explicit videos with her without her consent, and had posted 4 videos of her.
And when you took that statement from Ms. Newell, were you guys inside in a room, were you outside or something else?
I believe we were outside in front of the precinct.
Okay. Do you remember if there were any other folks making reports at that time or in the parking lot?
No.
Okay. So y'all have this conversation and she says that her ex-boyfriend has posted some sexually explicit videos of her.
Yes.
And after you get that information from her, what do you do?
I just based on her statements, I typed a report and then I gave her a domestic victim contact form because she wanted to prosecute.
And when she initially made that report that her ex-boyfriend had posted 4 sexually explicit videos, did she report that or rape at her?
At that time, no, not that I'm understanding, no.
Do you remember how long that interaction was that you had with Ms. Newell outside of the parking lot?
Probably 20 minutes.
Okay, so fairly brief.
Yes.
And I believe you said that you gave her a case number?
Yes.
Kiss the veil. This is the gentleman, this is the police officer that took Janae's initial report for the revenge porn.
That's fair.
And you also indicated that there was an address associated with where she believed that the posting of the videos happened. What was that address?
It was 2993 Arbor Chase.
And is that address located here in DeKalb County?
Yes, that was on the center side.
Okay. And after you spoke with Ms. Newell and gave her that case number, do you do any additional investigation?
No.
Would that be the responsibility of an investigator or a detective?
Yes.
And Officer Hugh, that concludes your involvement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Your Honor, may I have just one moment?
Yes. That's all I have to. All right, Cross.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, officer. How are you?
Good, sir.
All right. My name is Robert Booker. Just really quick, few questions for you. So you get a 911 call on March 30th, 2022. And
Yes.
it's at your Tucker precinct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that typical, a 911 call to go to the police station?
Yes.
That's how it's done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So someone calls 911 and says, I'm standing outside the police station?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that will be recorded when they call, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that will be kept in the records, the 911 call?
Yes.
And whatever they would have said in it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so the 911 caller, operator calls you and say, hey, we have a domestic outside.
Yes.
Right? And so you get there as quick as you can and you interview a young lady. Her name is Janae Newell.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And did you have your body cam running at the time?
Yes.
Okay. You recorded your interview with her?
Yes.
Okay. You returned it over to the district attorney's office?
Yes.
Okay. And so in your interview with her, you asked her, you know, she willingly told you what she wanted you there for, right?
Yes.
And what she told you that she wanted you there for was that there were 4 videos that had been posted of her online and she wanted them taken down, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Well, do you disagree with that or that?
No.
That's what she said.
That's what she.
Okay, right. She wanted those videos taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me answer. Make sure you answer yes or no. Okay.
Do you need more time to answer? Okay.
Excuse me, I need to
Oh, no.
Sorry, Judge.
Okay, sorry.
So the court reporter is taking down what we're saying, so we have to articulate. So yes, yes. Let's say yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you have a conversation with her for about 20 minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long at that time had you been a police officer?
Around, I believe, like a year.
A year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you pretty experienced. You went through the academy and all that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you in the military before?
No, sir.
This is your first police job?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you had received training in writing reports?
Yes, sir.
You knew how to write reports?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there was no pressure or coercion with Miss Newell regarding her statement to you, right?
Yes.
There was?
There's no pressure.
Okay. You didn't interrogate her, you just asked her, hey, what do you need, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And all she told you was that there were 4 videos of her online?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall asking her if she asked the person to take the videos down?
I don't think so.
You don't think you asked her? Okay. All right. Do you recall her saying anything to you about the person taking the videos down?
No.
All right. And so you typed a report, and the state just asked you, I'm asking you because they asked you. She didn't say anything to you about a rape or sexual assault at all, did she?
Not to my knowledge.
Because if she would have, you would have wrote it in your report, right? If she had said something about a rape or a sexual assault, you, an experienced officer, would have wrote it in your report if she said that, right?
That's correct.
Your body cam would have captured it if she said that,
Yes.
right? Okay. If she said something to you about a false imprisonment, you would have wrote that in your report, right?
Yes.
It would have been captured on your body cam, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so a 20-minute time frame at least goes by that you're there with her.
That's correct.
All right. And she also told you that at that time that Mr. Bishop was her boyfriend, was the words that she used?
Yes.
Her boyfriend.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Redirect?
Just briefly, Judge.
Okay.
Officer Hughes, do all 911 calls require you to go to headquarters to take the report?
No.
And in this case, did you go to headquarters because that's where Miss Newell was located?
Yes, that was good.
And sometimes the 911 calls come in and you go to the actual scene where the call is made.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That's all I have, Judge.
All right, you be excused? Yes, sir. All right, go ahead. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Any other short witnesses? Or the next one is pretty long.
Next one, probably about an hour and a half.
Y'all want to go for another 15 to 20 minutes and get started? No. First to speak. All right. It's been a long day. We're going to go ahead and stop for the day. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to have you report at 9:30 tomorrow instead of 9. I'm drug court at
All righty. Whew. She wasn't lying. It's been a long motherfucking day, bitch. Jesus Christ. And I'm going to go ahead and leave this stream up too for a little bit. Y'all go ahead and have fun with it. I need to get in and edit that first one out, and I will do my best to get it to where it ends off in a decent way. So I'm not sure if Godmama's around or not, but I know you guys want me to drop the link. What time is it? Oh, there's my host. Okay, I know you guys want me to drop the link, so I'll give the chat 30 minutes if you guys want to come up and talk. If not, we're gonna shut it down. But I'll give you guys 30 minutes because homegirl got things to do. I've been here with y'all all day. I was up late or up early. Mama Lurker is tired. Okay. You're welcome, Sasha. And hey to everybody that came through. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. And shout out to Nick at Night for getting this together. Wow. That was really nice of her. What a blessing that we were able to get some audio of that. She did have some visuals towards the end. So anybody that, wants to go back and check it out, go ahead and do so. Did I post the link? Okay, I did. All right. Yeah, we'll give y'all about 30 minutes if you want to come up. Um, Godmama, do you have any first impressions, or do you think you need to marinate or go back? Um, I didn't really sit and take too many notes, but I did take a couple.
Um, it's to me, it's like today was just a roller coaster of a day. Because at first you started out with thinking that he was going to take this plea deal that they offered basically in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we get audio and video messing up constantly. So it was just a lot to take
Yeah.
in for the day. And Janae's testimony wasn't a easy to listen to testimony, you know. It was full. And then when she got cross-examined, he kind of asked her the questions that people who weren't there witnessing or watching would ask. He kind of made her relatable and personable to the jury in a sense of, because he was asking her, well, how can you get brainwashed if you went to college? If
Yeah.
you know, and which again, that doesn't make sense because there's people who went through college and still joined the cult. So, that
Right.
that argument is kind of just mainly trying to just pick and poke at her.
He was being petty. You could tell he had been talking to Bishop, and with certain things to ask, this was the perfect attorney for Bishop, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
No, he didn't take the plea deal. No, Marisha, no. And what D Rizzo is speaking to at the beginning of the trial, he got sent. He's calling it an 11th hour. I guess that's what it's called. But a very last minute plea deal was offered to him for 30 years.
right.
And Bishop didn't take it. So here we are. We are on day one of the trial. Oh, Cuzzo's backstage. She wants to come up. Hold on real quick. Okay, come on up. One thing else, Godmother, that I noticed is not only
I think you have something playing in your background, E.
Ooh, sorry. How about now? Is that
yeah,
better?
that's better.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
ma'am.
Okay,
And
sorry, y'all. I'm eating too, so go ahead.
okay. Um, one of the things I noticed too, though, is Janae. She gained some strength, right? She started to match that that lawyer's energy. She did have some soft, tearful moments,
Mhm.
but she strapped her boots up, and I'm proud of her for that. She definitely matched some energy when he asked her about the love making and stuff. She that triggered her, and she was like, everything we did sexual was called making love.
Right, right.
I know that's right, Janae. You let him know, baby. And when she
Even
said,
yeah,
that we got tortured and abused, and I said,
right.
"That's right. You let them know. You let them know." And she said it with some conviction. So props to her, Janae. I know this took a lot. Props to
I
her.
just want to say I'm very proud of her for being honest, number one,
Hmm.
and being authentically herself in that moment. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's really messed up to have to relive something so traumatic that will change you. So for her to be able to relive something that traumatic and speak a truthful, her truth, I'm proud of her. And
Hmm.
I don't think that what's that boy's name? Nature Boy's lawyer. What's his name?
Booker, Mr. Booker.
Booker. I don't know why I want to say Bobby, but whatever. I don't really think he moved or swayed the jury like he think he did. Because honestly, he was actually badgering
the witness.
Well,
And
I was
I think
shocked that the prosecution didn't object as much. I was like, wait, hold on. Observing stuff, baby, he's not looking at 50 years. He's looking at life with no parole. He should have took the plea deal. And D Rizzo says any jury would be sympathetic. Well, yeah. And he was making all kinds of different movements and facial expressions. And Bishop is such a
Mhm.
characterized person. He's a character. He's a
Mhm.
fucking clown.
Yep.
Natural
Yep.
born clown is what he is. And he was doing the most. Okay. Towards the end, they gave some visuals back. So, like I said, if you guys want to go back and catch some of that, go over. Shout out to Nick at Night again.
But the
Um,
original plea
that's all I wanted to
deal
say. I'm
that
gonna drop.
we
I'm sorry.
okay. You're good.
no, go
Okay.
ahead.
Go.
Now I'm gonna drop, but thank you guys again. I'm going back in the
You're
chat.
welcome,
Thank
cousin.
Love
you.
y'all. Bye.
Love you too.
Love you back. The original plea deal was in to run what is it, consecutive, concurrent,
Yeah, they
30
were gonna
years.
give him 20 for the false imprisonment, 10 years for the um revenge porn on Twitter, and they were gonna run
Mhm.
it concurrent. And then he was getting kicked out of Georgia except for what county?
I think it was Clinton.
Clayton County,
Clinton
wherever the
County,
airport
mhm.
is. So we have another. Oh, Kissy Kiss is back.
Do
Kiss,
you know your camera's
your
on?
camera's on, Kiss. Okay, you turned it off, and then you're muted, babe. You want to come on up? Okay, Kiss, you're
Give
up.
me 1 minute. Hold on.
Yeah, take your
Okay.
time. You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
Bray
he had to go
banished. Yeah, he was banished.
and
He was sent out to what did Kanye say? I'll not exalt you, not exodus you. What is it called? I'll send you to exile or whatever.
oh, yeah, send you to exile.
Oh
And then
gosh.
he would have to register as a sex offender, and that part was what he really had a problem with.
Mhm. Yeah, so that was the plea deal. 30 years, never come back to Georgia, register as a sex offender, yada yada yada. And he didn't
Mhm.
want that. First it started off he didn't want to come out in chains. Then
Right.
he wants to talk about the plea deal. Then yada 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 yada. They're having technical. Then Janae finally gets on the stage, and the judge wants to bring him to the thing. We're going through maybe it's a mistrial. We're hearing allegations of people having their cell phones out in court, and just a shit show, man. Like I said, I wouldn't expect it any other way for this freaking circus.
Any other, and I hope maybe tomorrow runs a little smoother since all the Rule 22s will be in and done and out and ruled upon. Maybe we might just have to do what we did today and
Mhm. Mhm.
not just
Yeah,
have
either
to
way,
or
I sent out a kite. I sent out a kite, and Godmama, they're only doing it a certain way again.
Mhm.
So I understand, and if I can, you and I will talk about it backstage.
Right.
We'll discuss our options later. Um, yo,
But
for day one, I'm about to sleep like a baby. You hear me?
yes. Yes.
And I will be having coffee tomorrow because that really did help.
It did help. I ended up going through like almost 2 pots.
Oh my gosh, I only had 1 cup, and I'm still jigged up.
Oh god, no.
Well, I don't drink coffee, so it's when I do, it does the most. And I had a small cup. Mm, it was. I'll be getting some tomorrow. At 70 years old, who would care? But see, you guys, he's not getting 50 years. He's getting life. He's looking at life.
Oh,
That's
wait, wait,
what's
wait, wait, wait. So,
crazy.
so they trying to give him life?
Yes,
Girl, I
that's
did not know that.
I didn't either. I found out today. Stinson said the same thing too. Stinson was up here with us too. If you guys go back to our first live stream, and listen, go back towards the beginning when the trial go back to the very beginning when the trial starts. She explains it to Bishop like, yo, I'm just letting you know this is like you're facing life without parole. And we were all like, wait, what?
Mhm.
Oh wow. I mean, not saying that he don't deserve to be there, child. I'm just, I mean, hey, but I don't know. 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 I don't know.
Well,
I don't
I said I think it's a little much for this particular
know.
set
Yeah.
of charges, but it's also fitting for his karmic debt. Now let the
Yes.
Lord do what he needs to do because we done prayed on it several times. So
Yes.
I'm
Absolutely.
not gonna stand in the way of justice. Period.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
on Mama Dia. You heard? That's on Baby Love. You heard? Okay.
Exactly.
It is a little excessive, but you know what? I don't live in Georgia. I don't vote those people in. I don't handle that. So
Yeah. For the crime that they're supposedly prosecuting him for, yeah, I would say that that is kind of. That's why I was like, shock life. What? But I don't know. But y'all know that that's what they do anyways. They take any opportunity they can, especially with these leaders of supposed religious groups. They do that to them anyway. Like look at all
Mhm.
of the look at all these other supposed cult leaders that's locked up behind bars and stuff now. Girl, they don't fucking give a damn. And they ain't never getting out neither. So shit, it is what it is.
How do
it
you
is what it
feel
is.
about Janae's testimony today, Kiss?
Oh. Okay, so what I really want to do is I want to go back when I get home and put it on my loudspeaker
Mhm.
so I can actually hear everything she said. Cause some things I kind of miss. Y'all know I was at work and I was doing some nails, so a lot of stuff I kind of missed and didn't get to hear. So I do
Right.
want to go back and listen to the full um her full statement again on the loudspeakers, of course. But some stuff was kind of questionable.
Mhm.
Some stuff was kind of questionable. Certain things that they was asking her. Just I'm looking at it from the standpoint of we don't know these people, right? That's how
Right.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from the standpoint of we don't know these people. We never heard of them. We never heard their stories. We don't know nothing. So that's the mindset that I'm trying to have because I'm trying to put my mindset in the jury's position, in the juror's
Right.
position. That's how I'm trying to look at it.
Right.
Although we know what's going on, although we know, all of the things that those poor people have been through, I'm just trying to look at it more from the juror standpoint. And I do feel like they're going to be questioning of some of the things that she said. And
Absolutely.
what got me was the officer when he stated that when she reported to him, concerning her, I, I don't want to say alleged rape or rape. I really don't want to speak on that part, but when she initially made her statement to the officer, it was about revenge porn. It wasn't about being sexually assaulted. It wasn't about that. So I feel like the
Right.
jurors are going to look at that too, because that's a big pivotal thing. If you feel like you yourself were sexually abused by this supposed man, by your boyfriend, you got to think about, like this. Like I said, just I hope don't nobody judge me too harshly, but I'm trying to look at it from the standpoint of the jurors. You called this man your boyfriend, and you never stated to the police officer that you were raped or physically assaulted. You never said that you were sexually assaulted by this man. What you said was that he put videos of you online sexually that you did not give permission to be posted. That's
Right.
exactly what you said. You didn't say anything about beatings. You didn't say anything about sexual assault. You didn't say anything about coercion. You you understand what I'm saying? It's like,
Well,
Mhm.
here's to piggyback off coming from a jury's point of view, that 24-hour spa didn't sound great either. I hate to admit it, but it
yeah,
didn't.
Right.
It didn't.
yeah.
I mean,
So
I'm
that,
grateful she's being honest, you know.
yes, yeah. But that's how we have to look at it, y'all. We can't. we literally cannot look at it from the standpoint of we know what's going on. You see what I'm saying? We can't look at it from
Right.
the standpoint of we know Janae, we know Elysia. I'm looking at it from the juror standpoint. They don't know these people. They don't know what the hell is going on. They don't know what's been out there, what's been said. They don't really know. They're just listening to the statements that everybody is giving. And I do feel like a police officer stating that she never even brought up rape or sexual assault. If you really want to get somebody in trouble, or you're trying to seek some type of justice for yourself, that's one thing that's going to be very pivotal to someone. I was
Right.
sexually assaulted by this man, and he also revenge porn me. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
And
it
he
sounds kind
kidnapped
of
me.
weird that you waited until after you had this interview to go back and speak to the officer and be like, "Oh, and I was raped." I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Right. And I think Eligio's banking on the jury not seeing kind of how we just said that, is this crime worth his life?
Yep.
And in the cross examination, like I said, his lawyer is doing a very good job at using the jury's advantage of not knowing these people individually, not following their story to his advantage, poking holes,
Yeah.
making her look like she's just scorned, kind of.
I'm sorry,
Kiss.
y'all. I'm constantly
It's okay.
somebody's constantly keep trying to call me.
It's,
You're fine, girl.
it's okay. Yeah, I agree with both of y'all. And um, when I do think that the defense is holding up their end so far, for sure. So
For
we
sure.
shall, and this is just day one, y'all. I'm really, yeah, I think we're all excited to hear from the cult expert so he can come down. Like D Rizzo said, maybe they're just painting setting up, preparing the stage for Stockholm Syndrome, and would explain, maybe the prosecutor would be able to, ask the expert to explain her reasons for doing so, or why what is this typical behavior for somebody experiencing this trauma, type stuff.
So y'all just gonna keep on calling? Hold on one sec.
Yeah, go ahead and do what you need to do, Kiss. um yeah. How long is the trial supposed to be? They said the prosecutors were saying they were trying to wrap this up within 2 weeks, and it's moving pretty fast. I was shocked Janae was the first witness. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, that was what was shocking to me too. I mean, yeah, I was shocked by that as well. Who was the other person that was speaking before the officer? That's what I wanted to know. Did y'all recognize that
That
voice?
was that was Kelly. She's not a part of the cult or has been a part. She came
And these
from
motherfuckers gonna keep calling me.
oh.
The fuck? Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. Okay, I'm finna drop down because I got an idiot that keeps calling me.
Okay, go ahead, Kiss. But the lady who was speaking before the officer, that was Kelly. That was the friend that she was texting, that Janae was texting while she was in the shower. This was allegedly after the rape took place. And this was during the time that she's claiming to have been, quote unquote, not able to leave. So this is the friend, Kelly. All right, y'all. He had power over her. Yes, he did. He had power over the whole cult, not just her. She went in there solo dolo. So, and we still have more witnesses to go through. Um, Godmama, is there anything else, baby, that we're not picking up on?
No, ma'am. I guess we'll see y'all in the morning.
I guess
Right?
we will.
All right. Rest
Mhm.
well. I'll be listening to the playback again. so I can really process what she said and what went out on today.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, all right. Peace and blessings. Y'all hit that like and we'll see y'all soon. Peace.
To